You're a machine, just straight up and straight down like a machine. And then he'd hit you with the smelling salt.
Welcome back to the SwaySide Connection podcast. And who do we have on today's episode?
Jason Inoue.
Jason Inoue. What's good? What's good, Jason?
Hey, what's good? Good to see you, Heinz. Glad to be on with you.
Yeah, no, it's
the heinz.togafau uniform to show up at least for the first minute or
for
so.
sure.
With
For sure.
the tank top, we had to make sure we're matching for a little bit.
Representing. What are you drinking over there?
I got well, it's like almost 4:30 here in Austin, Texas. So I've got so it's a Tenjaku, just Japanese whiskey.
Nice. And then how do you drink that usually? On the rocks or
on the rocks? Like one.
Nice. One big. Nice. That's dope. How's the weather out there in Austin?
Hot and humid. Like everybody's probably seen on the news right now. They've got the all the flooding that happened out in Kerrville, which isn't far from here. It's like 2 hours from here. So we've had weird weather with
that's
rain,
right.
And then now it's kind of like sunny. It was supposed to like thunderstorm today, but now it's sunny out and maybe like 90. So it's weird. It's kind of feels tropical,
crazy.
Humid,
yeah.
Right? It's
100% humidity.
It's very humid. Like it feels like you're walking into like a steam room when you go outside.
Yeah, damn. Yep, that's very similar to where I'm at right now, which is funny because this is the coolest part of the year. It's funny because it's like obviously we're kind of close to New Zealand and stuff, and this is like New Zealand's winter, and their winter's like Seattle winter. So, but yeah, this is like the coolest part of the year. Like usually I'll need a fan going at night. Like at nighttime, this time of the year, I'm actually okay. So random. This is super random. And I talk to people. I ask people about this all the time. Like, since you brought up the floods that happened, but what's your like favorite place to go grocery shopping in the Austin area?
I guess it depends on what I'm shopping for. Like in Texas, we have HEB. HEB is really well known. I think they started in Kerrville, and anytime there's a disaster in Texas, HEB literally has a response team that they send out to help people.
That's exactly why I brought that up. Yeah. HEB. So HEB is only in Texas because I've never been to an HEB. So it's like, oh, and I just saw this thing online where HEB is like basically exactly what you said, how they're so responsive they're a private company. I think they have like 300 stores or something like that, but they're only in Texas. And then any natural disasters that happen in Texas, they're like they show up before anybody else. Red Cross, whoever. That's so gangster of them, man. And I could see how that loyalty, like, man, if you're from Texas, man, you're like loyal to that spot. So I mean, for people that aren't used to that, because I've never been inside an HEB, what would you compare that to other like grocery stores that you've been to in the past?
Thing in Washington, but like when I was living in Missouri, I would probably say there's a store called Hyvee, that's in Missouri, Iowa, kind of like Midwest, and it's probably most comparable to that.
Okay. That's interesting. Like, what makes it different from any of the other, maybe like Washington places like Safeway or Albertsons?
They have like HEB products, like their whole product line, and it's all very Texas branded. Like they have very Texas branded stuff. People, like some of the stores have barbecue restaurants in them. They'll do like crawfish.
What? Okay, yeah.
It's like a real thing. They have plants and pottery. You can get like a cow skin rug, and then the service, like employees are empowered to take care of customers.
Oh, that's tight. I like that.
The service there too.
Because I had Chrissy on, and she went off about, because she was living in Missouri at the time. I don't know. I think she might have moved since then, but she was talking about Aldi's and how much she loves Aldi's and how dope Aldi's is.
Everybody loves it. I don't go there, but everybody loves that place. I think I've been to an Aldi like twice.
Yeah, I've only been to the one. That's a German company, and I only been to the one in Germany, and it was cheap. Everything in there was dope. It was cheap. It was just like, I remember just buying candy there and like vegetables there and just like cheap. And even with the euro and stuff, it was pretty cheap. And then when I was do you have Publix where you're at? Have you ever been
No,
to a Publix?
no, I haven't been
I've
in.
seen,
I've heard a lot about them though. Everybody talks about Publix.
I've seen, right? And like I went to visit my cousins in Tennessee back like 2 years ago, and
Yeah,
man, I
real big in
drove
Tennessee.
by a Publix. Yeah. And like, I'm so pissed I didn't like, cause I would love to go inside an HEB. I would love to go inside a Publix. I think it's just the thing as you get older, you just appreciate grocery stores more. And I'm also been on this island for a while. So like very limited on the products and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I believe
I'm a
it.
huge fan. I think more people should make content inside of grocery stores. And I've said this a lot over and over. And like,
I know
I
you're
just
telling Jay
find
to
that
get
stuff
there
so
about
interesting.
Costco, like Costco
I
is
think
shop.
his if Nolder had his own Costco YouTube channel, I think
The
that
Nalder
thing would
Costco
blow up,
show.
man.
Yeah, I mean
A
it would be
Nolder
good.
Costco show where he just goes in and just literally he could interview people too, like do the same, or literally just him just going in talking about the product because he will say he goes down every aisle. He's very proud of being one of those guys that goes down every aisle, even though he has no need for anything. He has to see what they have in stock in every aisle. And
That's
like,
how they
if you're
treat you
not
at Costco.
if you're an in and out type of person, Jay is the last person you want to go to Costco with for sure.
Yeah, no,
So
I'm in and out of there. Like I like Costco too, but I'm like I'm in and out 45 minutes tops. Like I'm not spending all that time there. If Costco had like grocery pickup, where they pick it for you, I just got to show up. They throw in my truck and I'm on my way. Like I would be so down for that. So Costco, if you're listening,
yeah,
grocery pickup, please, because sometimes I'll go
no,
to
I
Sam's.
think wow.
Yeah,
I think they have, don't they have, aren't they on, what's that one?
Instacart.
Yes.
Yeah,
Aren't
I'll
they,
do
would
the.
you, yeah,
But sometimes I'm like,
yeah.
I
So
don't want to tip somebody like $40 for my grocery
true. And
order.
yeah, it would be, you're paying hella for that Instacart, I assume, if, but
Whatever.
no,
It's
I
either
get
40
that.
bucks
I
like
get
in
that.
tip or like an extra $100 and shit I didn't need from Costco.
Yeah, yeah. I could see how dangerous that gets. And all that to say, it's funny too, because we're filming this during Prime Day, which is funny because Prime
Oh
Day
yeah,
used to be Prime Day, for those of you, especially man, everybody from Washington should know what Prime Day is, but it's that one, Amazon creates this fake sale where they get everybody riled up to buy stuff. And then, it's so funny because it's like it reminds me of a lot of these festivals because it was like a 1 day thing. Then it turns into like a 2 day thing. Dude, this Prime Day is 4 days. It's like it started, I think, either yesterday and it goes on to like I think it's 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. So
it's
I
like the
shouldn't be
Nordstrom.
talking bad because I'm an
Like
affiliate,
it used
but
to be like once a year for the Nordstrom anniversary sale. Now they do it twice a year. Like they do the half yearly sale.
yes, they had the half anniversary sale, the half yearly sale. It's basically,
Whatever.
it's an interesting way to get people to shop. And it's funny because it's like naturally it's summertime, so people are already spending money, and then you're gonna create these like additional events. Cause I don't know if people ever thought about it, but it's like it's actually a challenge this time of year for I just know like just being in New Zealand because it's the middle of their winter. So like, in New Zealand, they don't really like when it's our winter in the States in the Northern Hemisphere, we have Christmas as like the big thing. But like, man, when it's switched and this is their winter, it's hard to kind of come. There's not enough holidays like Christmas, like a good holiday like that, where that really gets people to buy. So it's just always kind of interesting how like other countries and other places try to like we're so good at marketing though Americans we're just so good at like we'll make up some stuff we'll just like we'll have our stuff in movies TV shows social media now and so anyways
Capitalism kept consumers
for
can
sure
sell
man
anything.
yeah exactly and then I'm sure people are tired of I mean there's just even in this show I'll do an ad read here and there and so I just think it's kind of funny how just how this all goes so but yeah man how did you first hear about this podcast and
I first
yeah
heard
how
about
did
it.
you
Corey Alexander posted it on Facebook. And I'm not on
gotcha
there
yep
very much, but I caught that. And then I was like, oh, this looks interesting. Heinz and Corey are talking. And checked out that whole episode. And then after that, I was just trying to keep up with them. So I think I've seen almost all of them at this point.
Oh wow. Yeah. Hey, you're episode 31. So, and I'm surprised I had this many episodes. And like, man, I was kind of cranking them out hella fast in the beginning. And part of that, I just wanted to build up what they call like a binge bank. So, like, for random people, if you saw one, man, you can now binge through. Like, now I was really trying to get to 10 hella fast so that you can have like 10 episodes you could binge. Now it's like, okay, we could slow it down now, and I'm not in such a rush anymore. And to be quite honest, it's like, you'll be surprised how many people just don't want to be on yet. So there's a lot of people that I thought would be really ready to go on and that haven't come on. And then there's others where like, oh, okay, I could see how people didn't want to come on. I mean, YouTube is such a different thing. It's, but
Yeah,
it's been
not
fun
everybody
for
wants to
me.
put their face on camera, talk to the camera.
Exactly.
Like I think it's not for everybody, and that's okay.
Exactly. That's what I say too. And I'm always big on like, a lot of people don't really, nobody has like come out of the blue and been like, hey, I want to be on the show, which I would love for. If anybody wants to come on, just let me know and you can jump on, because the biggest challenge of this show is literally scheduling people to come on. So, and if anybody wants to come on, jump on. So, and there's no rules. There's people that are like some people were like, hey, I didn't even graduate. And it's like, I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter. It's like, none, like, or I was only at Spanaway for like this time. Like, man, I've had 2 Bethel grads already come on. I've had 2
Yeah,
people that graduated from Bethel come on the
yeah.
show, so.
Corey and who's the other one?
And
Corey was
Wilton,
Wilton. I can't believe I forgot he graduated from Bethel. That's so
dude,
weird.
same here. I forgot he graduated from Bethel too. And I was just like, that's crazy. I like, cause when he told me, I was like, oh snap, you went to Bethel senior year? He's like,
That's like,
yeah, and
yeah.
so, but it's
I mean, it's
funny
like
cause like, yeah, it's
Corey
crazy.
was a big miss, man. When that guy moved, and we're like, what? You're going to Bethel your senior year? What the hell?
I know.
What? Okay, it was all right though. We still like kept in touch, and
Yeah. I
good guy.
mean, man, what's crazy is like, I didn't realize he was at UW like our freshman year. Like, see, I didn't even realize that. And like,
I
so
told him that
that's
was the
what's kind
last
of
time I
funny
saw him
too.
in person. Like I connected with him on LinkedIn, and I was like, "Hey, man, last time I saw you in person, I saw you and Ronnie Shear walking in the quad at UW in like 1999." Yeah, that was the last time I saw him live and in person.
That's crazy. That 99 year, that was, I have to admit, like that 99 year, we were freshmen at UW, me and you, and me, you, Jay, Dave, and Daniel. We took that spring break trip. We
Yep,
took that
got to.
spring break trip to go see Zach in San Diego. And I
Yep.
remember that trip was so hilarious because it was like, it was so fun when we first left, but then like spending like 7 days with us 5 in the same vehicle, you could tell like by the end of that trip, we were all like just very like, it was like, we were tired of being around each other during that time, like in that small, just being enclosed together in one vehicle, that whole time, like for 5 people, it
Hotel
was,
room too every night. Like,
yeah, exactly.
yeah, my mom's
Exactly.
fan
No,
for that.
yes, yeah, that's right. Yep. That's so funny, man. So, but I forgot why I brought that up. But what were we just talking about
We're
before
talking
that?
about a UW of 98, 99.
Oh yeah. No, so I remember we were on the beach, and like that was the first time after high school where like I remember being on the beach for that spring break in San Diego and feeling super big, like overweight. Like, they say when you start college you get like a freshman 15. I definitely had probably like a freshman 30. I probably easily gained 30 pounds my freshman year at UW. And so I remember when we came back after spring break, I remember like me and you hit the gym tough. Like that was, and that's probably the most in shape I've ever been in my life. Like there, like that time period, being that young and then like being that consistent with the gym, which is crazy because I wasn't even that consistent with the gym when we were playing football. You know what I mean? And it was like, it's so funny how, I don't know. I think while we were just way more focused and stuff. And so just kind of like a funny time. So,
Dude, we were like that just brought back another memory of I know we're getting a little bit out of sequence here, but I
no,
remember
yeah, my bad. That's my bad.
going into our senior year, you know how we tested like power clean, bench,
Oh,
and
yeah.
squat? I remember you cleaning, I think it was 225, and you dropped into a squat clean and your elbow landed on top of your thigh and the bar landed like this, you jacked up your wrist. And we saw it happening in slow motion. I was like, and you
Yeah.
still stood it up, and I was like, dang, that had to hurt.
Uh,
I
do,
was like, oh, Heinz is done. Heinz isn't gonna play this
but there's
season.
also one where and I was thankful that the dude, that also reminds me of Coach Steve. Do you remember Coach Steve? Nobody
Yeah,
has brought up Coach Steve yet. He
yeah.
was explain to people who Coach Steve was.
He was the O-line coach. Or oh, wait, no, Steve Cameron was the powerlifting coach and the throwers coach for track.
Yes.
And he was
And
former Army Ranger, and he was on the national team for weightlifting.
he there he I don't know if there like he was a blessing to all of us that are I mean, if there's one thing about our school, we were strong. We had like super strong, like the strongest, some of the strongest people in the state because of Coach Steve.
100%.
But
Denny Mullen still has I think he still has a state record in the shot put, and Cecilia Thomas, I think, still has records for shot put and discus.
yeah,
We had
yeah,
savages like who were just insanely strong. I don't know if Quentin Rector's records of powerlifting still stand, but that guy killed it at state our senior year.
exactly. And then Travis too, like,
Yeah, Travis
Travis
has
was a
state records
powerlifting.
too.
That's what I mean. Like we had some animals like kind of come through Spanaway in the powerlifting and lifting era, man. So that's why it's like, yeah, and it's funny that nobody's brought Coach Steve up, but that's just kind of like another core memory just because he was crazy. I remember just like being in the gym and then he was big on just, he would be like, turn the fucking brain off. Turn your
Yeah,
brain off. And
yeah, you're a machine, just straight up and straight down like a machine. And then he'd
like,
hit you with the
yes,
smelling salt.
yes. He'd be like, yeah, like a machine up. Yeah, dude. And so like, obviously, man, stuff like that was like burned into my brain as like, dude, this dude is crazy. But like,
I
it
still
hyped
use
you
that
up.
today. I use that
See,
today. Like
exactly.
it's like be a machine, just down and up, down and up.
Yep.
Like like just go
It's so
for it. Like he
good.
had that mentality, and he believed in you. So you're like, well, Coach Steve believes
Yes.
in me. I can do it, right?
It's huge, huge, huge. When coaches, whoever believe in you, man, you don't understand how huge that is for your own self because it's like a lot of times, like growing up, people are telling you're always being taught that you need to be humble, you can't be, you don't want to be too narcissistic and all this stuff. But like, no, man, like you also don't want to kill your own self belief because I feel like that self belief is also like one of those like little like superpowers that anybody can have, but it's easy to kill that off if you don't have it. It's so that's why, man. It's like, man, I'm so thankful to like all the coaches that did believe in us, and especially like if we all have issues believing in ourselves. So, nah, man, yeah, that dude
No, I think
was
that you're right. Like that's a good point. It is important to be humble, but being humble also means that you know what you're capable of, right? You know your own limitations, and so you're humble because you understand what those are, and you're willing to learn and get better from every opportunity that comes to you. And I think that's what people get mistaken is like you have to be confident to be in that place. You have to know who you are, what you're capable of, where your limitations are. You have to look at yourself very clearly and truthfully, and be open to what everybody brings to the table all the time.
absolutely
Yeah.
self-awareness. No, I think that's another huge one too, self-awareness. And so kind of understanding that I think, man, it's tough. Those things are all kind of tough to juggle. It's like you want to have humility, but then you also want confidence, and then like kind of understanding how to juggle the two. It's like it's a weird kind of thing that you have to juggle. But I think now, just kind of like knowing what I know now, and just I think with like especially with like myself, I've battled with like mental health issues and stuff, and like now looking back, it's like, man, if I were to choose one, like if you had to choose between humility and confidence, it's like, dude, take the confidence side and you'll kind of figure it out. Because like the humility side, sometimes if you're too humble or just like too like hard on yourself, because I feel like that's what a lot of people are sometimes. It's like you'll see that being self-deprecating and hard on themselves, and it's like, dude, man, just give yourself some grace. Like it's not, stop beating yourself up. And I think it's hella easy to beat yourself up. So it's like, God,
Yeah.
just you
Yeah,
know,
right. Like overly critical. I know you did that for Slater on the last one, when he was kind of like getting on himself a bit, and
yeah, exactly. Boom,
you know,
exactly. Perfect
yeah,
example. And I was just like, dude, you're dope. Like, I don't know.
for sure. One of the most like positive, upbeat people like I've ever met in my life. Like always had a smile on his face, always genuinely like upbeat and happy with everybody he met. And I didn't realize he had struggled in school. Like him and I grew up together. I met Slater in like second grade.
Yeah, he kind of brought that up. It's so funny too because he was also like just after just over text. He also said that like you introduced him to like Bay Area rap and Bay Area hip hop. Like how? Like pre-internet. How are we doing these things back in the day? Like that's I'm like because he was talking about how he went over to the first time he ever listened to hip hop. He was at the Madero's house and they were playing Yo MTV Raps, and he was like, "What is this?" Because like the only music he listened to is like music from his parents. So like
Yeah.
listening to like contemporary hip hop and anything like that was just like he was just like mesmerized. And then when it came to like, and then like as the side note, he was like, yeah, and actually Inoue was the one that introduced me to Bay Area rap. And I was just like, what? How did that happen?
I don't remember. Like there was a bunch of people like I was like, how do I feel like I was kind of deep into hip hop culture for a little bit. I'm trying to remember like how that happened. I don't know if it was because of MTV and maybe like The Source, the magazine, and like Rolling Stone.
Oh
Because
yeah.
I remember getting Rolling Stone as a kid because my mom had the beauty shop, so we had Rolling Stone. And I think also like I think yeah, MTV and The Source, like you would be able to, if you actually read them, you would be able to like pick these things up. And
Yes.
then yeah, and so Slater and I would this is like another weird tangent of back then people would have like subs and bass and it was just like your car would just be booming
That's
and
right.
rattling and stuff, right? And so like he got a couple, I think he had like a couple tens in his like little Pontiac, and then I had one point I had two tens, and at one point I had like four tens, and we would just like play music hella loud in his driveway and my
Yes.
driveway. And then yeah, it was kind of one of those things where like, oh, well, this song fucking it's just pounds, and so we just put that in. I'll put it in your car, like type of thing. So that was kind of like how that all played out.
Dude, that you just unlocked another memory. So that like now your car specifically, I remember we man, because you used to drive us to UPS passing
Yep,
link after our sophomore year.
yep.
Because our sophomore year, after our
Yeah,
sophomore year going to our junior year, like you I remember like, man, we were bumping like we would bump that I think it'd be like that like Fuji's. Like
yeah.
it's just like funny how like some of these random albums kind of like I
Or
remember
die.
just If I Ruled the World, that Nas song with Lauryn Hill. I just remember bumping that in your car. Like we would always, and then we would just ride out to the University of Puget Sound, and like we'd just be out there and like your car was bumping that whole time. And so yeah, I definitely remember that from.
That memory of passing me, you guys didn't know, but I was at the UPS camp during the days. So I'd be at camp,
What?
like at hitting camp during the day, and then go home. And then my like our entering our sophomore year, I was there. My parents would like pick me up and stuff and drop me off. So I was there in camp during the day, and then I'd be passing league at night with the team.
No way, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So like in the summers, like I was going to football camps and baseball camps and doing all that stuff on top of like just trying to like socialize and do the we
Jeez,
had
you were
football
super
practice.
active.
I mean, the other crazy part is Warren was on.
Yeah.
Warren, Wyman, myself, Rob Brester, and Warren's dad, Mr. Stewart. We would practice at Spanaway Junior,
Oh wow.
and we would like run drills. Like I remember Mr. Stewart teaching us like how to block, how to move your feet, how to do this, how to take these angles, and he would like have these tackling dummies, and we would like practice.
Wow. This is like during your junior high years.
No, this junior high and into high school. So like our ninth grade going into high school, we were out there practicing at Spanaway Junior in the
Oh
summertime.
wow. Dude, that's crazy. And
Yeah, those
he's doing that for free. I think about stuff like that. I'm like, dang, man. Some of these parents, man, we got lucked out with like, just some like
so
dope
like that
parents
was like
willing to like
I don't remember if
spend
this was
time.
he got Michigan or if he was just from Michigan. I remember he always had the Michigan sweatshirts and the Michigan hat on, and I couldn't remember if he played there or not. I know he was in the Army, and like I think he was like Army intelligence. I don't know what he did after.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, man, that's so, yeah. See, I love those like behind the scenes memories because like I didn't realize you were going to camp during the day over there, and then like,
dude.
dude,
Another one
that's
was I got most valuable running back there at camp. I remember because I was playing with a bunch of guys from the Washougal team down from Vancouver. We were just like killing
yeah,
it at the end of the week. And I was playing like I was playing running back. I know I played fullback for us at Spanaway,
yep,
but they threw me in at running back, and it was just like, I mean, I'm not fast, but I did well, and so I got like,
yeah,
it's weird things like, you just don't. Again, like wherever I fit into a situation, I just made it work.
for sure, for sure. It's funny you bring up running back too, because it's like, man, I wish I played a little bit more. But you know what's funny is like, I remember coach put me in tailback during a game, and it was to do a screen pass, and I don't know, you're laughing already, damn. I didn't even finish the story. I didn't even finish the story. Right? But anyways,
That's
I don't know.
terrible.
Yeah, man, a ball hit me right in the helmet, and like I totally missed it, and then literally never went back in running back for the rest of my time at Spanaway Lake. And
I
like
think
I get it,
I think it was like hands of stone. Wasn't that the thing with you? They called you like hands of stone.
I guess. I mean, I did have trouble with interceptions. A lot of I probably led the team in dropped interceptions. I probably had, I don't know, maybe like 5 in dropped interceptions in my career
Yeah,
in high
that
school.
way.
And so,
Swung your
which is
way.
partly why I played defense, and they didn't have me in on, but that one in particular moment when I was in that, man, I lost the ball in the lights. It was like the only time where literally the ball was in the lights and I could not see anything at all. And then it just hits me in the helmet. And then,
That is a thing. Like the lights, yeah, for sure.
it was like the perfect like it all lined up where it was like lights, ball, my eyes. And it was just like, and I was blinded and I was just like, dude. And then, because if I had caught that, I think I would have gone for like 20 at least. Like there was nobody around me. And it was like one of those super surprise plays because I'm never in at running back either. So it would have
Yeah,
been a super surprise. And
yeah.
then yeah, after that, coach never put me back in, which is okay. I was just like, I get it. I'm known for playing defense anyway, so I'll just kind of know my role and stay over here on the defensive side. But I love how randomly we just got off on like all these random tangents, but that's part of doing these too. It's just I kind of like to let nature kind of take its course and just kind of like, because that's basically what happens when you have people talk is like, there's no real certain structure sometimes. But now this is a good time to kind of like, man, let's actually like start from the beginning. Where were you born at? Because man, so these questions are also questions that sometimes you think you should know about people, especially if you've known them for so long, and then like you realize maybe you don't. And so, but like, where were you born, and when did your family come to Spanaway?
So I'm like born and raised in this way. Like I was born at Madigan, the old Madigan, those brick buildings, and I
Yeah,
grew up in the same house. Like my mom still lives there. It's one of those things. Like my dad was
yeah,
26 years in the army, retired out of Fort Lewis in like
yep.
78, and then had
Oh
me
wow,
in 80. So my parents were older. Like
yeah,
they were like in their like 40 ish. So but I had
yeah,
two half brothers from my dad's prior marriage. They're in Germany. And then I have a younger brother who's 4 years younger than me. And so
yes,
my two half brothers in Germany, I like kind of keep in touch with. One of them lives in Croatia right now. He does fishing charters, like tuna fishing on the Mediterranean. And the other is a law professor in Germany.
no way,
Yeah. So the
dude,
older
I
one,
did not know that.
yeah, the older one that's in Croatia does fishing charters. He actually graduated from Spanaway Lake in like 1988, I think.
Wow,
Yeah, he came to the US to go to high school to get a high school diploma, like maybe thinking like maybe I could get a tennis scholarship to play at a university. He was a big time tennis player, and that didn't come to fruition. He didn't really like it. He wanted to go back to Germany. So after graduating high school at Spanaway, he went back to Germany.
dude, that's like, man, it's so interesting these military ties everybody has, and so not everybody, but a lot of people like.
Yeah,
I think that's
yeah,
another random theme for, I'd say like 70% of the guests that come on, we're all basically in Spanaway because of the military one way or another. So like that's why you have all these like ties to the two biggest places are obviously Korea and Germany. So there's so many people that like we went to high school with that were part Korean, and then a lot of us have German ties like myself. I have a German name, and then we have like all the people that were all there's like another half of us that were actually born in Germany. So there's like, yeah, so random. But that's why it's like there's just some special folks out there that were born in Washington, kind of like you. And then like I think April says she was born in Old Madigan, and then who else is born in it's like there's a group of you guys that were born at Old Madigan too, like all around, we're all around the same age. So it's like so interesting to like that sort of history of everybody's families and stuff. And so, man, have you been to Germany or Croatia? Do you ever go out there and see those guys at all? Like,
Like I'd like to go. We were talking about trying to get out there to see them. I saw Norman, the younger one. We met up in Hawaii for my dad's funeral a couple years
mm,
ago. Brought his daughter, but I haven't. Other than that, like Norman would come to visit and Mark would come to visit, but I haven't seen that. I haven't seen Mark since like wow, it's probably been like over 20, more than that, maybe like
yeah.
30 years plus. Yeah,
Oh, oh
something like
wow, yeah. No, all good. Yeah, just because like that like that stuff sounds super cool. I've heard crazy things about Croatia. I've never been, so I've always been like, and then obviously like I was a big Game of Thrones fan, so I know they had some a lot of stuff was filmed out there, but I'm always like kind of interested in that stuff. So, but then like
that.
elementary school, you went to
Went
the same.
Natchez Trail, with Bree and with Brian Slater and then Gorling, like all those folks that were on before.
Nice.
This Peterson is who I had for kindergarten, like the first person I met in
Dang, you
kindergarten
remember. And you
was
guys are so good with who you remember. I can't
yeah,
remember. I
Jared
can't
Madero.
remember before third grade.
Dude, that was like the first person who was like a friend I made in kindergarten was Jared Maderos. And
Oh
then
man, Jared, that's
yeah, I
tight.
think Sarah
Rest in
Vanderplat
peace,
was in that
man.
class too. A few others, and then like Sarah Vanderplat was another one who I knew, met like pretty early on. And then first grade was like Miss Kozak's class. Second grade was Miss Manza. Third grade was Miss Hager. Fourth was Mr. Winnie. Fifth was Miss Garwood, and sixth was Miss Spry. And I
Dude,
think
that's gangster that you remember all six grades like that, seven grades, including kindergarten.
yeah.
That's gangster.
And so all those people were there. It was like a good time. Like I remember, I know Brian talked about this, like playing baseball. I remember my mom taking me to sign up at the gym at Natchez Trail. Mr. Kenner was like the PE teacher. And ironically, he was the assistant baseball coach at Spanaway Lake when we were there too. So that was really random. But we signed up and we signed up for Steve Mitchell's team. So Todd Mitchell's dad was the coach, but also Jason
What
Barnwell's
grade?
dad was coach. Yeah, this was like, gosh, maybe first grade or second grade. I don't know. It was really
Wow.
early. And so we all played together, like Brian said, from all three elementary school. It was the same team. It was literally like Brian Slater, Louis Reed, Richard Hill, Gary Green, Mike Williams, Eric Coley, Jared Maderos, Rob Rester, Corey Riley, Justin Wilshire, me. I think Robbie Dossie, when he moved in, I think he came on our team too. And then there's a couple others I can't remember off the top of my head. Roger Beer, and yeah, but anyway,
That's
all of
tight.
us played together on the same team for Steve Mitchell, Jason Bartles, and oh, Gavin Williams, because Gavin Williams' dad was a coach too. And we played together
Dude,
from
that's tight.
time all the way through sixth grade.
That's crazy. That's that's
It was
crazy.
wild. We had such a good time. Like Steve Mitchell was such a great coach. He worked for Post, like the cereal company that they like made
Yep.
food products.
Yep.
And after practice, he would like have these baseball card packs or like something he would give out to players for doing something great that day. Always super supportive. Jason Barnwell's dad was great. Kevin Williams' dad was great. Like I don't know what happened to Jason Barnwell. I know that like he didn't go to Spanaway Junior. He went somewhere else. I think Mike Williams too. Like Mike Williams, I think went to Bethel. Corey Riley, I think went to Bethel. So like kind of got split up. Like people just kind
Yeah.
of went.
Yeah. It happens, it happens.
Well, Mike
No,
Williams
that's
was
why.
weird because his younger brothers went to Spanaway, like Jeff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Jeff
Jeff,
was a sophomore, right? When we were
Jeff was a
seniors.
when we were seniors. So like
Yeah.
his brother went, and then but he went to Bethel, and then like yeah, a lot of
I
cool
mean,
folks.
I mean, when you have two high schools that are kind of in the area like that and people moving around like Schwerdog and Wilton and like shoot, I mean, like when Jay Thomas came, he was supposed to go to Bethel, but because
Yeah,
the family, because the Lewises didn't move, because they lived right there by Spanaway Lake, because they didn't move yet, then it was just like, well, he's not going to go to Bethel just out of like random, which I don't know. It's so funny how like these decisions that like our parents make, or who maybe sometimes they let the students make, and like things just go one way or another. And then, because I also think about all the like frontier kids. Like, I haven't had
Yeah,
any of the frontier kids come on.
we got Q,
You know,
Kareem, right? She quit.
exactly,
Kareem Razak came over. Laura Walden was supposed to go to Bethel. Jen Tippett
exactly.
was supposed to go to Bethel. So we got all of them in, I guess, trade.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. It's like, so that's why it's so interesting, because like, yeah, all these things could have, like, people could have gone to different places, and then like, man, that changes a lot. But like, hey, not that I know of, Bethel doesn't have a podcast, even though we've had a couple Bethel grads on our show. But hey, like this, this is kind of, there's no rules either. Like, people are all like, it's funny because this is me just talking, and like I just give a platform for basically all of us, like old friends and just people that are curious to see how people are doing. And then just like, I like, my favorite part is just basically people talking about like some of these old stories, and just like, just remembering certain things. It's just like, it's fun. And like, it's kind of like a living sort of yearbook. I like to kind of look at this as something like that, right? Like a living yearbook where we can kind of catch up, and then just bring up old things and old time memories, reminisce, bring up. So yeah, no, I love being able to do this. So now junior high, now Spanaway Junior, like what was that like?
I was excited. I have such like this distinct memory of the first day of junior high.
You were excited.
Yeah, like I was ready to go. I'm like, let's do this.
Whoa.
Rolled in there. Who was it? I remember the first day. I'd never played football, organized football, ever, ever. Seventh grade rolls around. Somebody's like, hey, it's the first day of football practice. Who all's going? I feel like it was Gary Green because he would do that. He would just rally people like that.
Yeah.
And then, oh yeah, we were in the gym, and he's like, anyway, you're playing football? I'm like, yeah, let's fucking do this. And so, like, they're like, well, practice starts today. And I'm like, today? I'm like, not ready for this. I'm wearing like my first day of school clothes, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And like, go out to the field. Okay. So go out there, hit up practice first day with not even ready, like never having played football before. And just like, after that,
Yeah.
that just continued on. And then Shorty was talking about the shed that they had, that you guys at Cedar Crest had. We had the same shed at Spanaway Junior, and it was
Yep.
dark. There's no lights in
Oh,
there.
no way.
It was bad. And then all your stuff was on a hanger, and they just handed you. We're seventh grade, so we got the worst of everything for last choice. It was terrible. We had to hang our stuff on these horrible hangers. It smelled. Got changed in there. It was just like, it was bad. But it is what it is.
I mean, looking back, I wish I played back then. I didn't play in junior high. And so that's why it's like, and it would have helped me out so much, I think. But
It was so much fun. Like I had such a good time playing. Having never like hit like that before, in my life, and then walking on in seventh grade doing that. My brother had a different opportunity where we had him play football for like Lakewood Lumberjacks when he was like in fourth
mm,
grade. So he was like, tackle football from like fourth grade on. There's like a big like Hawaiian Samoan community who are all playing on the Lakewood team.
yep.
And so, we kind of, and crazy, Reggie Williams was on that team. He was a receiver for that Lakewood Lumberjacks team my brother played on. And this kid was amazing at that age. And you're like, this
Yeah.
kid's gonna go somewhere. Then he goes to UW, and then he goes to the Saints, I think, drafted him out of UW. And you're like, yep,
Yeah.
like could have called that
Well, I think he got drafted by Jacksonville, if I can
Jacksonville.
remember.
Yeah, it was something like
Yeah,
that. I was like, man, he was a stud. You could see it when he was in third and fourth grade. You're like, this kid's
for
gonna be
sure.
something. He just
For sure.
dominated. Yeah.
For sure. What year was your brother at Spanaway Lake?
Uh,
One?
2002. 2002.
Oh, two. Yeah. Yeah. Cause Reggie was 01 at Lakes. So yeah, no, that makes sense. They're basically the same age group right there. And so
They played together.
what's
I
funny,
remember that.
the first time I ever heard of Lakewood Lumberjacks is basically Cook used to play for him. So like so yeah, back in
Yeah, yeah.
back in the day, like he was on those teams back in like the early 90s and stuff, like, so
Yep.
yeah,
I
that's so,
remember
because now they
the good
have
time.
like Parkland Raiders. There's all these
Yep.
other,
Raiders.
they have like, right? So
It's like
yeah, man.
some Mustangs or something, Sumner or Fife Mustangs and some other ones. They
Yeah,
all
for
played at
sure.
Sprinker. every Saturday, and like all like the Hawaiians and the Samoans like we're like tailgating in the parking lot before the game.
Exactly. Nope. Exactly. Nope.
We're doing
Exactly.
like
1,000%.
hanging out, Yeah, it was good. Like, yeah. Solano was the head coach of that team. They moved back to Hawaii. They moved to Kahuku.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it was good times. Yeah.
Yeah. No, man. That's dope. I mean, did you do all the sports when you were in Spanaway Junior?
Oh yeah, so that's crazy, right? Like I was varsity all four sports my ninth grade year. I don't think many other people did that. Like as far as guys goes,
Yeah.
football, wrestling, basketball, and baseball. Like I played varsity all four.
Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy that how that splits up into 4 seasons for, junior high kids. Seasons are shorter and then, you're obviously playing less schools too. So,
yeah.
but the ability to play wrestling and basketball at the same time, it's like,
Well,
Now, did
wrestlers
you do
typically
any
can't
other?
play basketball though. Like it's weird. Wrestlers typically can't play basketball. And basketball players typically suck at wrestling.
A thousand
Weird how
percent,
it
a
does it.
thousand percent. Yeah. I think, and then wasn't it funny? Because I think somebody also did, I think Schwery did it one year too. Like he was kind of like your counter. He was like he's like the Cedar Crest version of you, where he did all four. Like,
He did.
so.
I remember
Oh,
seeing
and
him.
I
I
think,
maybe did Chris Belser too.
oh yeah,
Because Chris
except Belser was track though. So, but yeah,
wrestling on track.
yeah, yeah, that's right. Because I definitely know, yeah, that dude was definitely an
I had to
athlete for
wrestle
sure.
Belser, and then I saw him on the basketball court too. So I know I played football against the guy. So like I would always see him. Like,
Yeah, no, that's
I would always see that.
crazy. That's crazy. Now, did you do any other extracurriculars in junior high?
Let me think about that one. Yeah. Oh, the one
Student,
that stands the most was Van Star and I did uh, FHA, Future Homemakers of America. We're the only two guys.
what?
And so the girls elected Van president and they made me vice
No
president.
way. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. So, what
So we
was
had a
that
good
like?
time.
What did you guys do in there?
It was like, dude, I don't even remember. We had meetings and stuff, but I honestly don't recall what we actually
I
did.
mean, it is
We
junior
went,
high. This is 30 plus years ago.
we went to these events. I remember we went to one in like five. We went to an event. We went to a state conference. I don't even remember what they covered at these things. Like I remember going to them, but no idea what they covered. Remember we had to dress up. Like we literally had to wear like a suit, Van and I, to these things. Yeah, like being the only two guys there. I mean, just like it's kind of weird. But yeah, it's just like I don't even know why we were there. I feel like Van was there because his older brother was involved because
Yeah.
his girlfriend at the time
Oh,
was
that would.
there. And like, let's do it. And then what else did we do? I basically just played sports. So it was like all 4 seasons. I was just active in the
You
sports.
didn't
That's
do
what kept
any
me busy.
student government back then, though. Any student
No, that
government
was
during junior
like
high?
FHA vice president in ninth grade.
Okay, no, that's still interesting. I did not see like all these like little things that I kind of any memories, other memories from junior high before I ask you some of these high school questions. But like any memories, any favorite teachers, any favorite classes, particular moments that stand out.
You know who was great? Like Mr. Shireman was a great science teacher. I remember I had like a biology class,
That's
and there
so.
was literally like six people in this class. We all sat in the front
Yeah,
row. Miss Color was a Spanish teacher who was really outstanding at teaching Spanish. And trying to think about who else stands out. You know what else stands? Well, Mr. Thurston. I think some people have talked about him. Mr. Thurston, Mr. Remlick. They're like pretty no nonsense with things. But things at Spanaway Junior were not good. Like before they arrived, like it was bad. Like probably pretty bad place before they got there. And it
yeah.
wasn't always like great at times because is we're fine at school. We would have school dances. So these things stand out to me that I don't often talk about. But after school dances, like people would walk over, to like that Safeway Godfather's Pizza area.
Yeah.
And I remember times after dances where like people would get into fights with randoms, like adults. Like, why are adults fighting junior high kids? And like I remember a couple times like gunfire, people getting beat up. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't always like this.
It's so interesting. Multiple people have said how Spanaway Junior was just like it's so much like rougher than Spanaway Lake was.
Yes,
Like it was
but I
rough.
don't know.
Like it's
But I think the era too. Like, I think that there was an era of that during the time that we were there. It was shifting. It was kind of the tail end of that level of violence that was occurring in the community that was slowly being shifted
I'd
out.
have to agree. I also think people forget like Cedar Crest was kind of like I don't know if we were as rough, but I think it was just kind of like very similar mentalities too, because it was like, I mean, like I took choir all 3 years. That was probably one of my favorite classes throughout junior high and high school. But then, man, like our all boys choir, man, there was one day where like everybody was just playing craps in our
Mm,
choir class. And it was just like, and that was like a normal thing though, you know? And it's just like,
yeah, like gambling.
what? Yeah, like full on gambling. And it's just like, dude, like we're all like, it's like 45-year-old dudes in the Bronx playing craps kind of thing that we're like all like 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds in like,
But also it
it's
was like the
so
gangster
random. It
rap
was,
era, right? Like movies like Menace to Society had come out, Boys in the Hood,
yeah,
right? We
no,
were
I
like,
don't, I think those are very influential. No, I think, no, I think you
you
kind of
know,
hit it on the head. Like those things were definitely like glorified, like, and then like the music too, right? Like, so Snoop was big back then, Dre, all them dudes are like huge
yeah.
in the
You know, so
early
like
90s.
that's what I remember. Like, like it was kind of that era. And then we had a guy named Sean Caputo who was a stud, like played football, wrestled. This guy was a stud. He was like jacked for being in junior high, right? And
Yeah.
he was like running up to these people after this dance. They jumped him. He comes to school like the next day, his face is all bruised, gunshots were fired, people like running all these directions after this dance. Like I remember that kind of stuff. Like, dude, that's just not normal.
That's not normal for junior high kids to experience crazy
No, that's
violence
not
like that.
normal,
Crazy.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I mean,
it
that's
is
what I
what it
mean.
is. Like, we survived.
Yeah, I just think that's also like, and I kind of brought this up, it's kind of in the DNA of our country that there's just, sometimes there's random violence. It's not, I don't know. It's just, it is what it is, and
Yeah.
and I think at that time, the wrong things were glorified. But like, I feel like as being a kid, the things, when you're a kid trying to like rebel and like, and seeing like those type of heroes in the media, in the lexicon of what's being, like circulated out there, like, man, being a gangster was cool. Even to this day, if something is cool, I say it's gangster, right? Like, so it's still in my vocabulary, right? And like, and I a million times, a lot of that's being a product of being in early 90s, listening to like gangster rap, and like, man, those are like some of my favorite songs are like, from that
Still
era.
to
And
this
like,
day, right? Yeah. It's
exactly. To
fun.
this day, that's why it's so funny, because it's like we'll listen to like these like random gangster lyrics, and it's just like the fact that like we're in our 40s now, but that was that music back then. Like that music's 30 years old, and so, man, it's just such a weird kind of thing. So,
It is,
but
but we made it through it. Like I don't know anybody that actually
definitely,
died, and then I still think we had a great time at Spanaway Junior. Like it was a lot of fun. I met a lot of great people, and
for sure.
dude, okay. Oh, Mr. Grauer was our wrestling coach. He taught math, which was so weird. And then Mr. Castle was a coach. He had like special ed, but he also was like a great football coach. He coached at Spanaway Lake for a bit, then coached wrestling at. He had some heart problems. But dude, that guy, I remember after wrestling season, we would have a party at Mr. Grauer's house, and he would buy steaks for the entire team. He would cut them into 1 pound steaks.
Ooh, that's gangster.
Yeah, so like he would totally get like throw this party for all the wrestlers, 1 pound steaks for everyone. We just like hang out. He had this giant property, people like hanging out, wrestling, playing football, joking around, just having a good time. But Mr. Cass was
Yeah.
super influential because I remember my ninth grade year in the semifinals, I lost to a guy, Justin Richter, who I beat during the season. And like, we talked about the very beginning, like I beat myself, like I just didn't
Mm,
like sat me down after. He's like, dude, what the hell happened out there? You could definitely beat that guy. You could have won this whole thing. I'm like, you're right. Like you're right. I got nothing to say besides like I just didn't fucking believe in the moment, and I doubted myself for a few seconds, and it cost me. So,
1000%
and then
happens all the
yeah,
time.
later on, like I didn't wrestle in high school, but I caught up with him. I saw him one day, and he's like, dude, you should have kept wrestling. That was been the one sport like you would have gone somewhere.
Dude, are you sure you didn't wrestle? I swore you wrestled one year. No?
Didn't wrestle. Didn't
Okay.
wrestle at all.
I
Um,
sw-
Yeah. I caught up with my junior year somewhere I saw him, and like he had passed like not long after that, and he was like, "You should have just
Oh,
kept going like that." Thing.
yeah. No, that's
But like
crazy.
in college, I got into like skipping ahead just a hair, like got into MMA, got into jujitsu, been doing jujitsu ever since. So it kind of like
So
spun back a little bit.
you found your way back.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, let's get into high school. So now we're in high school. Now we're at Spanaway Lake. Now you're, um, so
Now
interesting
we're at
that you say you
Spanaway
didn't.
Lake.
What's that?
We're an hour in and we just got to Spanaway Lake. All right, let's go.
Yeah, my bad. That's the host's fault. So my bad.
Like yeah, Spanaway Lake High School. Super excited to start high school. Coach Rowe had brought us in because he was super excited for the football season. We had that meeting. I think you were there for that too. We met in that shitty weight room that was in like
Yeah,
that little thing. It was a hallway, and like guys like Toby, Brian, Merlette, Freddie Ravenel, Dan Star, like all those big dudes that were there for their senior year, and like we're just trying to get pumped for the season. And I was like, that's what made me excited to start school. Was like, hey, we're gonna play football. Things are gonna go well. We got this great team coming in, new coach, new system, and I'm like, well, that makes me excited more than anything. Like let's go type of scenario.
same. I was the same way. I was the same way. I was super excited for that. It's the first time. It's funny because like going into seventh grade, I had hella anxiety, and then I brought this up over and over. But going into high school, I was excited because being a part of, and then like all those names you just brought up, man, it was like these guys are all like grown men. Like these guys were like grown men.
We should have won
The
so many games.
talent.
It was insane. You think about that, like Freddie Ravenel, Brian Merlette, Tony Gibson, Derek Rawls. Those guys are so fast. Like they're all on that state track team that should have won state on that 4x1 or 4x4, and then stupid strong, stupid big, and
We lost Brian for the year early though, so we lost Brian, so he didn't play.
like that
Yeah,
running on a fucking vertical,
hamstring
and he
ACL,
pulls up
something like
late.
that. It was like there was like a pothole
Yeah,
or something.
so devastating. I was like, oh my god, that did not just happen.
But even the size of the guys, like we get even like maybe Christian was huge, like Christian and Darian.
Archer,
Yeah, I mean these
Danny
dudes are,
Barnes,
and then
dude,
like
Dan Starr.
Van. Yeah, like so, like our man. I just think back, like that O line was unreal. Like,
They
and
were
I
like the
really
size
think
of
the one like physically we were unreal, but like man, we just didn't have it mentally, like as like, and I think this goes back to like belief system, and like a lot of the we didn't believe in ourselves as a team, and a lot of those dudes like individually had like, it's weird how like we had these weird demons where if we were down in a game, we were out, the game's over, like in the first quarter. It was just weird. It was such a weird thing for us as freshmen to see these like physical, talented specimens. Like, and
yeah,
because that year we only won one game. So that's
one
why it's
game,
like such a
one game
one
against like
game. Yeah.
Clover. I think Clover Park. Is that what we
No,
beat?
it
That's a
was,
home.
I think it was Federal Way. I think we had beaten like Federal Way. And it was like the second game of the year. And then we lost the rest because we lost to Clover Park. We lost to Lakes.
That
We lost to
first
Raw.
dude, that first
Yeah.
game. I know that somebody's already talked about it, but holy shit, like we got annihilated by Drew Miller. Like,
Oh
and
yeah,
I remember, yeah,
that was
I remember Coach.
I brought that up.
The,
So that was the game, that was the day, that was our junior year where we got super annihilated and he was in Sports Illustrated. That was,
I thought that was our
and
sophomore.
it's funny.
Was our junior year?
Well, we
Yeah,
played him twice. So he beat us our sophomore year too. It wasn't as bad as it was junior year because they did. Because I think our sophomore year, I think we lost, maybe it was like 40 to like, I don't know, 45 to like 7 or something like that. And then that junior year, we lost 63, 60 something to like 13. And then that was the year. And like, it's funny because like I put out clips, of when I brought that game up, because that was also the same day that Tupac died. And so people are like, "Oh, you're blaming Tupac now?" And I was like, "Hey, I'm just saying, it's just, I'm not blaming Tupac, but hey, I mean, I think maybe I am blaming Tupac because Tupac's fault. We got stomped by 50 points and somebody threw 8 touchdowns against us. But anyways, that's a whole nother.
I can kind of laugh at it now because we're all hyped because of those new jerseys they laid out for us. We walked into the locker room.
Yes,
Man.
so you do remember that. Dude, we were so hyped. So that was the first game of the year, I believe, for us, that our junior year. And we get off the bus at I forgot what the name of their stadium is, but we get in Lakewood. So we get off the bus in Lakewood, and then like on when we go into the locker rooms, it was such an emotional high. I don't think like they understood like how high that got us. that wasn't necessarily a good thing either. Like being too emotionally, because we were so excited to see these brand new. They were like, they had like, it was like brand new uniforms, right? And so it's like, man, they were like stretchy. They had the Nike sign on them. They were like fresh white with the teal. They looked so slick to us. Like it was too high of an emotional moment. And I don't want to blame that either, but I just think it was the perfect mix for us to get our ass whooped, because it was just like all these different things like were happening, and it was just like, damn.
What we did, we got annihilated that day, and he was in Sports Illustrated when he go on to play at BYU or something.
Yeah,
like good for him. Like, he
no,
really
man, no, for real. Good for him. Good for all those receivers that caught all those touchdowns on us that day, man. Like,
you know, so super talented guy. Like, honestly, he was really a great quarterback. Probably could have played.
They had great receivers too. Like, you know,
they're phenomenal. Yeah,
they had some players too, and so yeah, man, it was one of those days, and it's all good. I think it's hilarious to bring up now after the fact, but back then, you know, it's funny too, because I do remember going to the fair the next day. So this is like, you know, it's the first game of the year, but also the fair is going on too, the Puyallup Fair. And I remember going to the fair the next day, and then this dude is in line, and I remember him like having a conversation with his friend or his girlfriend or whoever. But I remember him, like they brought up the game, and he was like, "Oh, did you hear Spanaway lost like by like, you know, 63 to something last night?" And I was just like, damn, man. Like, I couldn't believe I could hear that. I couldn't believe I was in earshot to hear that. And I was just like, dude, you know what I mean? There's just like, I'm just here at the fair trying to like drown my sorrows away in this funnel cake and elephant ears. And
speaking
I gotta
of that,
hear this dude bring it up.
No, you know, I worked at Old Buffet in Lakewood, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, OCB, yes.
CB in Lakewood by the old mall that doesn't exist anymore. But so like because it was in Lakewood, so a lot of CP folks and Lakes folks.
Yeah, for sure.
There, I remember I knew that one of like the hostesses, she was a cheerleader for Lakes. Like, I gotta walk in. Oh my God. Cheerleader, she was there last night. She knows we got wrecked by them. I'm like, oh, but she was super nice. Like she didn't bring like, you know, I was like,
that's hilarious. Dang. Speaking of, so wait, was that your first job?
Yeah,
OCB
that was
in Lakewood?
in Lakewood.
How'd you get that?
My mom's friend was like this weird like customer service position, Janice. She would just walk around and like greet people and, you know, get them coffee and just talk to them at their tables. Like that was literally her job there. And so she like just apply, and then she put me in touch with the manager, Wendy, and then I got the job there. And I had Joey. What the hell is Joey's last name? Joey, who went to Spanaway Lake. I think he's like Chamorro, like from Guam. He taught he taught me how to do like
Molina.
Yes, I think so. He taught me how to do like we had the hardest job, I guess, there, which was basically it was called beverage. So you had to like do the whole beverage station, make sure everything was in stock on the beverage station, on top of the plates, the silverware, the anything like.
It's basically the heavy lifting of the whole thing, because that's all the heavy stuff: plates, like, cups, ice, lemons.
Make sure everything was in stock. All the beverage tea, in the back. Yeah, all that stuff. Milk.
Trust me, because I know OCB well. I've been to OCB hella. I've been to the OCB in South Hill, which is, I think a lot of these places aren't even there no more. I went to OCB in South Hill a lot. I went to OCB in Lakewood a lot. Trust me, I spent a lot of time in OCBs all over Western Washington.
It was basically bar back, right? Like we had to do all the heavy lifting, all the running around.
Yes.
Like the ice cream machine. I was responsible for the ice cream machine. I'm like, why is the dessert person responsible for the ice cream machine? Nah, beverage person responsible for the ice cream machine. Cleaning that thing, refilling it, like all that stuff. And then also on top of that, mopping the area if anything went south, like the tiled area and the bathroom cleaning. Like, I'm like, bruh. This is ridiculous. Just nonstop running around. So I just had a system. I would just run a system around the beverage thing. I would run around the dessert thing, run around the thing, go to the bathroom, check it, and then go again. And if anything needed to refill, I just like do that along the way. It was just nonstop, all for fucking 8 hours straight.
So you got that when? When did you get that? After our sophomore year? Before our sophomore year?
Yeah, like I think like end of that summer. into that summer. And then I worked there through like
that obviously makes sense because that's when you started driving, because that's when you turned 16 at the end of our sophomore year. So then obviously now you could drive to work now. So that would make sense now. Okay. Yep. Dang. So that you just started there pretty much, and then we got whooped by Lakes, and then you had to go to work back in Lakewood. Man, you were like in the beast of the belly going back during that time. That's so funny,
they're all
man.
nice about it though. They're nice about it.
Yeah. Dude, that's hilarious. Well, that's, what's hilarious too about that junior year. That was the year that we were actually the closest of actually making the playoffs. Because I don't know if you remember, we had like a red, white. They did it weird that year. They split the SPSL into like a red, white, and blue conferences, and then
3 divisions. Yeah,
there was like 3 divisions. Yeah, and then because one of the schools, I think one of the Federal Way schools, had to forfeit their win over us because they had Mike Bush playing for them.
Oh,
and he was like he wasn't eligible, even though he ended up going to Wazoo and playing receiver there. But he did, like, he caught a touchdown over me. Like, I mean, this is like, it's so funny. We're just talking about how bad we were, but it was like, that was just a funny year because, like, even as bad as we were, even though we lost by 50 points, it was still weird. It was like late October and we still had this weird outside chance of getting into the playoffs because of this whole division system.
Yeah.
And so,
but we also picked it up, right? Like, we started to like win games here and there, and we started to like kind of like get together team. And I do like attribute a lot of that to Coach Rowe and like that whole squad of coaches that we had, like Eric Williams, dude. That guy's killing it right now. He's like a commentator for like ESPN.
I'd love to have him on the show. Like, I'll probably I'll try to reach out to all these guys. Yeah.
Coach Benedict, I know he was only there for a sophomore year, but that guy's been doing well. I think he like won a state championship and won like wherever he's at, like Idaho, Montana, I don't know, something like that.
I think he's in Idaho. Shoot, like, did you know him and Hoseth were good friends? That they were roommates and stuff?
At PLU.
See, I didn't know that.
Judd Benedict was like an All-American at PLU at linebacker. Coach Hoseth was.
I knew that.
Yeah. Crazy too. My cousin Marion was a cheerleader at Washington High School when Coach Hoseth was there playing football.
Oh my God. No way.
I'm like, I figured it out because I was like, well, how do they know? Oh, they went to Washington, and like they were friends on Facebook, and I'm like, how the hell did that happen? But they were there at the same time.
That's amazing. I love finding out like random stuff like that, like, random, like, because it's so funny. Like, man, it would have been super fun to have Benedict there, like our junior and senior year too. I mean, it was fun having him. He's the funnest coach that we had, and then like it's so funny too because like, I thought Hoseth was the funnest coach when Benedict left, and I could see how those two were friends because they. Yeah. I mean, well, I also think it was like their age too, because they were younger than most of the other coaches, and then they were like just so goofy and like willing to have fun, and they just made things fun. So
I really like Coach Eric Williams, and Coach Urban. I got along pretty well. Like, he cracked me up. That guy was Marine Corps to the core. And
yeah, man.
Super athletic, super strong. But Coach, he played receiver at Washington, and he was a stud back in his day. And I remember like we were like messing around with golf clubs one day, like after practice, and he could hit a golf ball both right-handed and left-handed. And I was like,
oh wow,
this was wild. And I remember. So like we would play. I would play varsity on Friday nights, and I would talk to him like, hey man, can I come down and play JV on Monday? And he'd be like, yeah, we're glad to have you. So I go on Monday and play JV.
I should have done that. I should have did that. I should have did that too. I should have like both, like literally I should have did that my sophomore and junior year. I should have did that.
Yeah.
I needed more reps. I literally
asked him, hey, you want me to play on Monday? He's like, glad to have you. I'm like, dude, I'm down. I just was trying to get as many reps as possible. Like, I'm just trying to play as much as I possibly can. Like that was the goal. And so like it was fun. Like
smart
JV or not, whatever. I know I played on Friday night, but it doesn't matter.
For sure.
Right? Like, play.
So you did football, sports wise. What did you do in high school? You did football, and then
I did. We did
wrestling. I thought you did, but no wrestling.
I did powerlifting, no wrestling.
Powerlifting, that's right.
Baseball for like sophomore year, junior year. And junior year, I really had a falling out with the coach. Like, I just didn't agree with how practices were run. Didn't agree with the culture he was building. I remember after one of the games, I was like, dude, I need to talk to you. And like, I'm fucking done with this shit. Like, I don't agree with this, and this. Like I was having a breakdown, and like he just listened. He didn't freaking say a word, and I was like, I'm fucking done. Like this is ridiculous. And so I was out. Just like I'm not gonna even say his name, but practices were so stupidly inefficient.
All
I'm like,
good. All good.
come on, dude. Like, I'm in high school. I know how to run a practice better than you. Like, I'm out of this. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I go, no one on the team sucks. Nobody here gives a shit. Doesn't seem like you give a shit. Our practices are ridiculous. Are wastes of time. Like, are we gonna do anything different? Nope. No comment. I'm out. Like, just
Yeah. Other extracurriculars did you do? What were the other ones?
high
I
school.
know.
Okay. Newspaper.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Junior year, I got on the
Gretchen
newspaper
brought
staff.
that up.
The
Gretchen
newspaper
brought
staff,
that up about her and how her and Deanna joined newspaper, I think,
they
senior
did.
year. And
They did.
yes,
They did.
yes.
Yeah. So they're some of my favorite people, honestly. So newspaper staff, I got on there. Mr. Wolf was great. He gave me a lot of leeway. He gave me a lot of responsibility, and he was like, you know, good or bad, you're gonna take responsibility for this.
Because you were the editor.
Yeah, our senior
year, you were the editor.
And and you know, Wendy, I think she goes like Wendy Box now, but Wendy Gummer was also there. And like she was like the right hand person next to me through everything, and she was great. She took photos, did everything that needed to be done. Like she was just on it all the time. And
yeah, so, man, I have to bring this up. I have to bring this up random, but like, man, in the yearbook, in the actual physical yearbook, man, they have my picture in there for the newspaper, and I was just like, and it's basically a picture of me and Robert just kind of like being dumb, like fucking around, basically.
You would come to like hang out for a minute, and Robert was on staff.
Yes. Well, there's a story, and I'll probably let Robert tell it when he comes on. He's eventually going to come on, but it won't be for. It'll probably be. He'll eventually come on, but I'll let him tell this story. But like, there's this one time where like we messed with Mr. Wolf's the computer in the class and it's just some dumb stuff happened. But anyways, I feel bad because it's like, damn, I'm like, I wasn't even in the newspaper, and yet I was like, they had me in that portion of the yearbook, and I was just like, what the hell? But yeah, no, you're right. I mean, I because I was cool with Mr. Wolf, and then like you guys are in there, and so I just thought it was cool. But looking back, I wish I would have been. I wish I did that. I wish I was actually in newspaper, like going back, like thinking back. There's so many like things like I wish I could have done. Like I wish I would have challenged myself in all these different ways. But like I think it would have been fun to actually be part of newspaper back then too. Just now, especially with me starting this YouTube channel, and this is like this whole like media thing, and like just trying to like master language and master communications. It's like, oh man, all these skills, like you could have picked these up doing all these other things back in the day. But nah, man, kudos to you. You were the editor too. You had a busy senior year, so it's like you played varsity football, editor of the newspaper. What other extracurriculars did you do?
ASB Vice President. I was in AP English, AP. I did AP Calc my junior year or sophomore year. I don't remember. Junior year. AP Calc my junior year. You were in there, right?
Yep.
AP Calculus, yeah. And then AP Physics. That was a shit show.
That was the only AP class I took was AP Calculus. And then I was like, man, I'm good. I don't need to do any. That's what I'm saying. Like I avoided challenges and conflict a lot as a kid, just because I was so used to things being easy for me. I always took the easy path. And so, which now looking back, it's like, dude, do the hard stuff and try to figure out, like, I don't know. So I eventually learned that lesson. Just you learn it late though. But yeah.
Isn't that hard if you just try, right? Like even if you fail, like who fucking cares? Just like keep going.
That's you hit it on the head. Even if you fail, I think we're taught that like it's so bad to fail back, obviously you don't want to fail classes and stuff, but that also there's such a bad stigma to it and a bad attachment to failure that it makes people not try things that they might not be failures at. And so it's like, dude, just like people need to know that it's not end of the world. Even if you fail out of school, like it's not the end of the world. There's no end. Literally the only way you fail is if you die. That's it's like the thing. So as long as you don't die and you're alive, dude, there's, we live in a time where so many things can happen. As long as you're alive, it's like, so that's how I wish I learned that for sure You hit the nail on the head.
It's interesting about newspaper was we had a lot of like interesting personalities and great people, both like my junior year and senior year. I remember like Gretchen and Deanna. So Gretchen and Deanna, like they're great in the class. Like, I know they felt like maybe they gave me a lot of shit, but I totally enjoyed having them around. 90210 is a big thing, right?
Yes.
90210, the TV series, Melrose Place. I know Bree's, one of her favorites is Melrose Place. And but Andrea in 90210, everyone called her Chief, and because she was editor of the newspaper for the high school. And so they were calling me Chief throughout the year because of that. So like Gretchen and Deanna would always call me Chief every time they saw me. So we had a lot of fun in that class. Jenny Noller was in there. She wrote some great editorials. I remember I wrote an editorial about when cars got broken into the parking lot. And I remember, do you remember that?
Well, one was super shady. One was people broke into our football players' cars when we were playing games. So like we would be out and like because we didn't play close to our school. We didn't play. We parked our cars at the school. We took a bus to Art Craig Field, which is Bethel next to Bethel's campus, basically.
Yeah,
so basically
right?
Yeah, we played these football games 20 minutes away from our high school, and we left our cars there unattended, no security, no cameras back then, nothing. And so like, man, it was just like prime pickings for people to just basically rob our cars. And then because almost it was just sad because I definitely remember that happening, coming back from a game, and then it was possibly a game we lost, and then not only did we lose, like everybody's cars got broken into, and it was just like, dude, this is messed up, man. So yeah.
So
you wrote about that,
which I did. I didn't fault the school for those. I faulted them for like one during the day when like cars came on campus during the day and people went out to their cars at the end of the day and were like, "What the hell just happened?"
Yeah.
And I kind of wrote it a little like, I don't know, maybe like tabloid-ish format.
Yeah.
And I remember
clickbaity
Mr.
is
Sherry,
one of the terms today.
He was so mad. Like he sent a copy of that paper back to Mr. Wolf, and he had like red inked that editorial all over the place. And because I guess he was an English teacher at one point in his career, and I think he had some experience in journalism, and he ripped it apart. And I was like, I'm fine with this. I'm totally okay with it. I know what I was doing. And it was mainly to draw attention to the fact that this should not happen to students' property during the school day. When we have campus security and a school resource officer, this should never happen on campus.
For sure.
And that was fine. Like I took the heat for it and I carried on with life.
Yeah.
But
have you ever thought about getting back into like writing again in journalism or anything like related to that?
I write blogs for my company.
Oh,
so I guess that's a sense of journalism. So
yeah, blogs, no, absolutely. Like, that's 1,000% is. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think we learned how to write really well. Brian Slater alluded to this, like Ms. WB, phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal.
Yes.
Like, totally prepared us for college. You have critical thinking skills, made us apply to colleges, made us apply to scholarships. She would walk us down to that resource area, like, hold the scholarships you're going to apply for. You need to apply for X many scholarships today. And like, really taught us how to be good students and learn and apply that knowledge. Like, I think that she doesn't get a lot of credit for that because people thought she was really difficult or hard on them, but she was only hard on people because she knew what we were capable of. She knew the potential if she did that. And so I think that she doesn't get enough credit for a lot of things that she did and why she did them.
I think it's amazing how many people our year basically that took her class, that had her class, speak great things about her. So it's like,
yeah, I didn't understand why people said.
I think, man, that's just a testament to like, yeah. I mean, I just think she was tough. It sounds like she was just tough, but like for the most part, it also sounds like she was pretty fair. So it's not like she was. Yeah, I think, and I think that being tough but being fair, I think it's a closer. I think it's more of what the real world is like. And so I think like just her being tough like that just kind of showed you like, hey, the real world is actually pretty tough. Like, it's probably tougher than what she was doing, with her students and stuff. So that's why it's like, man, testament to her. Cause like a lot of people have brought her up as being very instrumental, in their careers when it comes to writing, whatever it is. I think it's kind of tight that a lot of students have similar thoughts about the same person. So man, kudos to her.
100%. You also got me thinking about the math classes. I remember being in elementary school and getting bused to the high school or junior high, sorry, to take algebra. And so it was me,
Yeah.
Brian Green, Larry Larson. I can't remember if there's other people. I remember the three of us for sure because Larry and I were good friends all the way through, like
Yeah.
until he went
Robert.
to Ballard.
Robert was in there too.
You were there. Keena Hine, I think, was in there.
Yeah. Keena
And
was in there. Yep.
who
Ralph.
else was in there?
Tanitra was in there, I think. And then,
Yunjun, right?
yeah, maybe.
I felt like he was, but maybe I'm wrong.
It's like, I forgot that you were in there until you just brought it up, until you brought that AP calculus thing up. Because then I was like, yeah, that's right.
I remember being in Mr. Trupas's algebra class for algebra and then going back to elementary school. And then when in junior high, getting bused to the high school, like I would literally drop off because I had my own pads. So I would drop off my pads with Rob Rester, who was in the front seat of the bus, get off at the high school because we shared a locker. So you would just throw my pads in our locker and then go to high school for, was it trig or something like that?
Yeah. It was trigonometry. Yeah. Trigonometry our ninth grade year. Yeah.
Yeah, you were there. Rob was there. Brian, Larry, Keena, and there's a couple other people on that bus because I remember us getting dropped off first at Spanaway Junior, and then it would drop you guys off at Cedar.
Well, I think Tanya was in that class as well. Who else? Oh, and then Tony Sai, he was in that class as well. Because he brought that up. I remember it was like, yeah, me, Ralph, Tony Sai. So I thought, which is kind of funny because that ninth grade year is kind of funny how like, so we started our school day at the high school and then getting bused to the junior high was such a weird, like such a weird, such a weird thing.
So like I remember in junior high that set me up to be in geometry as a seventh grader, and so I was in there with like upperclassmen essentially, right? We were in there with like people like Nancy Good and Mike Johnson, like Jenna Riddell.
Wait, you took that seventh grade, not eighth grade? Because I took that. Yeah. I took geometry eighth grade. Because seventh grade I was in just algebra. Because seventh grade at Cedar Crest, I was in algebra. Oh, you took algebra in sixth grade?
Yeah. Yep.
See, that's crazy.
Geometry in seventh grade. And all those people, Angela Barbera was in there. And so we had a lot of fun. Liz Campbell taught that class. There's like literally 10 people in this class. And she had leukemia at one point. And so, you know, I don't feel like I learned a lot in that class. We were just like fucking around all the time. In ninth grade or eighth grade, Mr. I don't remember the boy when I took in eighth grade for math. That's so weird.
And then were you in that physics class with
Mr. Miles?
That Nalder, that story that Nalder, yeah.
He's right. That was the worst class ever. The guy could not teach like a lick. He went to PLU. I don't think he was going to be a teacher. Like I think like it was so bad. It was so bad. I had no idea what was going on half the time.
I was struggling, but I was also like checked out. So like, you know, part of that was, you know, it's kind of like mixed. It's like the teaching style wasn't the best for me. And then I was also checked out. So like, I wasn't really trying that hard in that class either.
One day we were so mad after a football.
Yeah, I didn't like the class, but I was not like, Nalder was so, because it's so funny because like Ralph brought up the fact. Well, Ralph brought up the fact that like somebody had their parents get involved, and then like, and I was like, I know Nalder's parents wouldn't get involved, like they wouldn't care about something like that. And then talking to Nalder, he was like, oh no, my parents had nothing to do with that. That was all me. I went to the vice principal. He was like, I showed him basically like the curriculum wasn't, you know, part of the, you know, it wasn't like state approved or whatever. Like he moved mountains. But that's why it's like, I think it's amazing that like as a student, like that you would go out of your way that far to like basically, I think I ended up getting out of that class anyway, but I think like
that was a smart play.
Yeah, because he ended up eventually getting an A in that class. But that also shows you just like you could just do things and like things can happen just by taking action. And so I think there's a valuable lesson learned there too. Just, you can make a change, Yeah, just take action and see what happens. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Then that's why I think like as we get older, we're too afraid of failure where a lot of times we don't take action when we really just should and just like be willing to face the
Yeah.
failures. Like failure is not the end of the world. And I just, if there's one thing that I could definitely tell myself is like, failure is not the end of the world. So just take shots, keep taking shots. And then,
Yeah. It's okay, right? Like, nothing happens, but Jay took the initiative to make something happen, which is fantastic. It's even in the okay, Brian Slater talked about the whole squirt gun incident. I was in that class too, and I'm like, what is going on right now? Where he's like diving across the classroom with the squirt gun, hitting the roll. I'm like, oh my god, like, you're gonna get in so much trouble.
yeah, I think it's so funny because I think the what really did it was the false imprisonment, I think is what he said, he called it, but
Yeah,
like
I'm like, where did that come from? I was like, Miss Ellen,
he,
like, what? We're in AP Government Politics, and it's like false imprisonment. What are you talking about?
I guess
Yeah.
because the way his desk was situated, nobody could leave the classroom because he basically took up the door, people couldn't get out of the classroom when the bell rang. And so because of that,
I
that just
get it.
caused,
I totally,
you know,
I totally get it. But like, we're literally high school kids, and I think sometimes you have to take into consideration people's personalities and who they are when you make these types of decisions.
for
And like,
sure.
yes, there's a
Because,
lesson here, but fuck, like, seems a little harsh.
yeah, for sure. And then, so the other one too, but you were ASB vice president, so you're part of the ASB government, dude. What was that like? Who did you
We're
run
about to tell
against?
that story
Do you
too.
remember who you ran against? Like who else ran for vice? Because I totally forgot that you were also vice president until I forgot who
Janet.
brought it up. Somebody brought it up. I think it was either Chrissy but somebody brought it up. Yeah, oh yeah, Janet. Yeah, yeah, because they were in
Well,
ASB.
Chrissy
Yes,
and
that's right.
Janet.
Chrissy and Janet were in ASB.
Yeah,
Yeah, so they brought that up.
they were. Yeah, yeah. So I ran against Janet, and I
Oh, that's
won. And
right.
so they created a position for Janet, Ms. But no, okay, I was not going to run for vice president.
Okay, what
So
happened?
how that went down was Todd Mitchell was on news. Correct. Okay, this is how this went down. Todd Mitchell and Jill Winniger were on newspaper staff on junior year. All there. We always spent a lot of hours there because it was late night shit. Like we were always working on some crazy deadlines, right? And so Todd's like, dude, I'm concerned about running for president. I need to put up more signs. I need to do this. I need to do that. Jill's like, I'll help you because she was ASB secretary or something like that. She's like, I'll
Okay.
help you. Like, let's make some posters. And so we're talking about this, and they're both like, dude, you should run for vice president. I go, well, who's running right now? And they're like, just Janet or Janet somebody. And I'm like, you should run. I'm like, really? And Todd's like, dude, you would win. And Jill's like, I'll make your posters right now. And she goes,
Oh
Phil, let's
wow.
go to Miss Hager. Let's get the paperwork, turn it in today. She goes, I will make your posters right now. I'm making Todd's anyway. So we run up to Miss Hager's room. We fill out the paperwork. I turn it in. She's like, okay, you're all set. It was like, boom. We ran back down to the newspaper room, broke out the paper, the paints and stuff. She made Todd and I posters. We just put them up that day, like that afternoon. And I was in the race. That's how that went down.
That's
But thanks
great.
to Joe Whittier and Todd Mitchell, because of them, that's the only reason why I ran.
Dang, and that's just from being in newspaper. Those are basically your newspaper homies were like, hey, just sign up for this thing. And then it's like,
That's
that's
it. That's how
crazy.
that went down. And Todd's a great dude. Like, we didn't always see eye to eye all the time, but like honestly, like great person. His parents were awesome. Like
That's
Steve
dope.
and Linda, I believe. Like
I got to get him
go by
on.
his house. I don't feel come on. Like I don't think he does a lot of social media stuff. But he
Yeah.
literally lived like 5 houses down from Brian Slater. Like,
Yeah.
and so we all come in that neighborhood. Yeah, that had me thinking about something else related to that. But no, like the whole ASB thing was great. Phenomenal people, phenomenal time. We went to leadership camp out of Camp Sispus, which we went to for football,
Yeah.
and fucking Van Star swam across that river. I was there too for that. And it was us, Zach Olson, Rob Rester was out there.
Oh, Rob was with us.
And
And Nalder
yeah. And freaking Van Star just jumps in the river and swims
with
across.
his
We're like,
jeans on.
no,
With his jeans on.
Lord. And then
He took his
we
shirt
thought
off,
he
but
was
left his jeans on. And then I couldn't believe he could
what are you
swim with
doing?
his jeans on like that. Like, man, rest in peace to Van. But man, he almost died that day too. So it's like, that's crazy. Because that was like one of the
Dude,
crazy, like, and I'm pretty sure none of the coaches, nobody knew, like none of the parents knew. That was like one of those things where it's like, dude, you know, um,
what if he would have died? What were we going to tell
for
people?
sure,
He
for
just got
sure. The
swept away
fact
by
that
the
we were
river?
all
Like,
out
what?
there, no, yeah. So when you went to
Yeah,
Cispus
like
with us, this would have been, oh, so then you went to, because that was before our junior year, right? That camp?
before our senior year, I think, because we were like the oldest, I think.
Man, you might be right. Cause you're right. I don't really
Yeah, I think
remember.
we were the upperclassmen. We were the seniors.
So you went twice in the same summer, basically.
I did. I did.
That's tight.
Yeah.
Cause Cispus was fun. So man, I could only imagine what it would have been like with like basically because it was a bunch of dudes when the football guys went there. I couldn't imagine what it would have
Yep.
been like with girls there too. I think it would have been just kind of out of control. But
I had a great time. No, it was a lot of fun. It's crazy how much you bond with some of those people that were there for leadership camp, and
yeah,
you
and then
spend so
it's
much time
obviously
with
like
them.
leaders from throughout the state. It sounds like, right?
Yeah,
The way,
like
yeah, that's amazing.
people were disclosing crazy things by the end of the week, and like I still have two people that I keep up with. Well, I don't Nathan. I haven't heard a lot from. Nathan Blue, and then a guy named Jason Axman. They went to Kennedy High School, and they both went to UW too. And they ended up they're both DJs, and so I would see them around in that sort of sphere of things.
Yeah,
And I still keep up with Jason Axman to this day. Like we periodically will message each other. It's kind of crazy, like those bonds that you get from those time periods of people you spent a
a
lot of
thousand
time with.
percent. For sure. For sure. Nah, man, that's dude, you had a very busy school year. Man, any just like random memories from any of those times that obviously we've been kind of spitting them out throughout the episode. But
Yeah,
like yeah,
I have lots of things that pop up. But see, like somebody brought up the lock in, the leadership lock in.
that was
We had a lot of
crazy.
great time at leadership lock in. I remember Miss Kenningson. It was her first year or senior year, and had a great time always interacting with her. Pete Joseph, phenomenal. I think he's like a superintendent now in Montana, which is
Oh wow.
like good.
Yeah.
Yeah, great guy. Love Pete Joseph. We would have like just like friendly conversations all the time throughout the year. And then the lock in for football, we would watch other people's kids. I think Warren Stewart brought that up.
I
How
brought that up to Warren.
like were you two live
That
watching
was one
other
of those
people's kids for
unlocks. Like literally, it was while talking with Warren. It's so random that memory came up. And then I was just like, dude,
yeah,
do you remember we were all
yeah.
basically babysitters for
Nobody would allow that in today's day and age. He
the
would be like,
lock
bring
in
your
wouldn't
girlfriend.
happen. The fact that we were babysitting basically like a million kids all in the school like that.
It's wild. It
Yeah, I
was
don't think
wild.
that would happen again.
No way. And then I don't know if you remember this, but we did a coupon drive for football.
Oh,
And that
yes.
Safeway was 24 hours, right?
Yes.
So that Safeway was 24 hours. And we had all these coupons, and we had to put them on products overnight. So when people bought those
I don't
products, they
remember
could
that.
donate them. Oh my gosh. Bob Resser, Zach, and I were in Safeway. And Coach Rose around, and like I don't know who else was in there, but it's like midnight, 2 a.m. Nobody's there. We're just putting coupons on products. We got these coupons. We're like, oh, this one, because they could donate that coupon amount to the football team.
So I do remember a coupon thing that had to
Mm-hmm.
do with the grocery outlet. So I remember being outside a grocery outlet. I remember
We
being
did that one
outside of
too.
I remember being outside a grocery outlet and like trying to like sell these coupons to like people that would
Yes.
come in. Basically, if they use like you kind of hit it on the head, if they used the coupon, the savings we got to keep, and then
Yeah.
and so it was or something like that. And then I just remember being outside of that grocery outlet right there in Lakewood and just like yeah, man, just I thought that was the most random fundraiser that I think I remember.
It was.
Yeah.
But I remember being in that store. Nobody is in that store. It's like 2 a.m. And we were just like running up and down the aisles like fools, like just doing stupid stuff. And like we'd make sure Coach Rowe wasn't around, just like looking down, just like doing dumb shit.
Once we hit that babysitting fundraiser, that was the moneymaker because it was like boom, we'll do one Friday or like one Friday per month. We'll make us like, $10 per kid, something like that for like 4 hours, 5 hours, $10 per kid for like 4 hours. And then we would have like 300 kids. So, I mean, we were making 3,000 per night, like in the in the 90s, 3,000 per night in the 90s for all of us. And it was like, which I thought was like the easiest of the fundraisers versus like car wash, selling candy bars, all the like other fundraisers people did back in the day. Easiest.
Like throwing footballs with kids, playing
yes,
basketball with
playing
them,
dodgeball with the kids, playing checkers. Yeah.
Bring your girlfriends,
watching
the girlfriends are hanging out
movies in the movie theater with these kids. Like, it was just like, yeah, giving them popcorn and like all this. Yeah, it was just it was the most easiest fundraiser.
I forgot about the popcorn.
Yeah, it was just like, yeah.
Like a mess.
I think they each got like a popcorn and a soda and then like maybe a candy bar or something. It was something. If you think about that price back then, $10 for a kid, even if it was like $20 for a kid, like, man, it was a great deal. Like, the kids got popcorn and candy and like, I don't know. It's just kind of funny.
Yeah. I mean, do you remember the football lock-in? We do football lock-ins where we do like
those. I love those. Those were another bonding experience. Yeah.
We were locked in. We would do like all the team bonding stuff, and we would come up with like the slogan or the acronym for the year and talk about the goals we have for the team. It was just good experience, like talk with players that you normally wouldn't like integrate with.
Those were the funnest. No, 1,000%. You're so right.
Yeah.
Because we're all sleeping in the gym. We're all sleeping in the gym. And it's just like, yeah.
They would bring in McDonald's breakfast sandwiches the next morning.
Yeah. It was amp. And then we would have like, and then we would have a talent show and like do skits. And then like whoever won didn't have to run as much the next day or something. And so, no, man, we had some fun activities.
Dude, team dinners before the game.
Oh yeah, man, I remember I ate a lot of spaghetti before the games. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
that spaghetti was like that was like
I just remember I would burp that up a lot, like during warm ups. Just like you get that spaghetti burps and stuff. Like,
it was not good. Like I was trying to figure out a way to say that differently, but it was just not good. But we would just do it together.
I mean, just being kids that are hungry, it's just like, oh, this is kind of what you're supposed to do. And it's but the good thing is that we ate it super early, right? So we didn't play till like 7:30, and then the school got out like around 2:30, 3 o'clock. So we would usually eat that meal around 3:30, 4. But it was kind of weird. It was like, that was also just kind of a ritual, just being like, we're the only ones in the cafeteria and we're eating these school-made lunches, which were not the best, So I just remember spaghetti was just one of the things that they made a lot, So I just remember just that. So,
but he would give out the awards, right? Like the defensive award,
right.
And the offensive award.
I forgot about
we had those stickers. Right, and I always wanted the skull and crossbones, but only defensive players. I barely played defense in high school. I played periodically, but like I didn't
because really offensive. You guys got the stars.
Yeah, the stars.
Yeah,
that's not cool. I want the fucking crossbow.
Yeah, no, that's true, dude. I forgot about that. Yeah, man, that's some pretty funny stuff.
Do you remember that I long snapped for punts?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Dude, I forgot about that.
Do you know how I got good at that?
No.
Rob Rester and I were great friends. Like, we were great friends growing up. We were great friends in high school. So, like, I would snap for him and he would practice punting. Like, that's how that
dope.
Fucking started. Yeah.
That's dope.
Like, that guy was a killer soccer player. Like, he was just such a great athlete. Like, he went to Eastern for a minute. Yeah. Great athlete.
I didn't realize, I guess one year he didn't play soccer. He ran track because him and Chip did this thing where, I didn't realize that, where they kind of, and I was just like, dude, what the hell? Like, that's crazy I totally forgot that had even happened. So.
He was so fast. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I mean, he was an athlete for sure.
Dude, do you remember that film? Somebody had intercepted a pass and they were running down the sideline. And Rob Rester comes out of nowhere and grabs him from behind and rips him down.
Yeah, no, I do faintly remember that happening. It was like, nah, man, it was kind of crazy. Speaking of soccer, it's funny too, because I do remember senior year, you and Rob, we all went out for the soccer team. And then, and like, instead of you guys playing baseball, you guys didn't play baseball that senior year.
Dude.
And, but you guys were at all our soccer games. So instead of just like, a lot of times people would just go back to playing the sport, right? No, you guys are like, no, we're good. We're not going to play baseball. And then,
dude, my name was never on.
No, you guys would show up at the games and it was pretty hilarious.
Oh, we had a good time. Like we were just messing around, having fun. But like my name was never on his like actual tryout sheet. Like I didn't actually put my name down. I was just out there.
Oh, for real? Wow. That's
didn't
what's so
actually
funny,
want to
man.
play it.
So
It was
many
just
of us
out
had
there.
this weird mentality senior year. It's so funny is like especially that time of the year, springtime, I was definitely more interested in playing soccer than I was doing any schoolwork. So it literally, if it wasn't for soccer, I probably wouldn't have showed up to school as much as I did. But like, because I was like, shoot, we have practice every day. It's like, okay, well, I might as well go to school because we have practice later. So, but no, I
Yeah.
was a terrible student my senior year.
Another thing, senior, you brought this up. Like, you're like, how did I get chosen to speak at graduation?
Yes. Do you have
I know how
any
you got
insight?
chosen.
Okay, Dave, break
I
me
know.
off.
I was there. Okay, so myself, Todd Mitchell, Ms. Kennickson, and Pete Joseph were all in the ASB office, and we had to pick, and we
Oh, so
had
you were
copies
in
of their
that
speeches.
committee.
Yeah, it was four of us, and we got the speeches that were submitted, and Todd's like, dude, we got to make a decision today on this, and I'm like, I read them all. We all read them, and it's like, I go,
Well, wait,
okay.
no, wait. I remember I had to like give it. I had to give my speech in front
I
of.
had a hard copy.
Wow. Because I remember there was a group of us, and we had to like give the speech in front of,
Yep,
and there wasn't very many people there.
yep.
It was like maybe like, man, I couldn't even tell
It
you.
was
You
just
could
the
probably
ASB.
less than 10 people there in the theater. So it was kind of weird. It was just like the people that were trying to give the
Yeah,
speech. But I do remember going
it
up
was
and
the ASB.
see
That's it.
exactly.
It was the ASB.
That's what I thought.
And so like, yeah, because you had to submit a copy of it for us to review. And so we had those hard copies. And I remember telling them like, hey, I don't want to vote for Heinz because he's my friend. But what is a feeling that we want at graduation? Do we want somebody who's gonna say all these right things that are gonna like be in line with what people expect? Or are we gonna want somebody that's gonna invoke this sort of vibe and emotion for what we're for this?
I mean, I was
What are
trying
we
to
looking
tell
for?
jokes.
I mean, that's it. Like, so I was literally like, what do we want? That's really what this comes down to is do we want this feel and vibe or do we want somebody that's going to give you like the traditional graduation speech? The vote was like, let's go with somebody who's going to invoke some emotion and give something back to the group.
Wow.
And so that's kind of where things went. And so like, that's how that happened.
Yeah, I was trying to like incorporate like what our like senior saying was that was on the invitations and stuff. But then but the other thing I was just basically trying to be funny and then what's funny is because Mr. Sherry he pulled me into his office. Is like, look, you're going to give this speech, but like you have to take these things out that you're saying in here. Like,
Yes.
and I was like, all right,
Yes, because he had final say. We made our recommendation. He had final say.
see, yeah,
That's why we had the hard copies because then he could review
yeah.
the hard copy and
Oh
be like,
yeah, because
yeah,
he basically was like, yeah, you should probably take the. And now looking back, it's like, okay, it's probably good that I did take those out because. But the '90s was such a different time, you know. Like, there's a lot of like, just as being politically correct, it probably like it looks better for me. Like, he probably saved me from being like. I don't know, from being having crude jokes at like a high school. So he probably did me a solid. And it's so funny because it was like so many people were like, well, why, it's like you're graduating. You could have just, went off the cuff. And then it's like, it's not that big. I'm just happy that I was able to give that, And so, man, I've always wanted to know the backstory of that. Cause I was like, I think just me being, I don't know, naive and just the fact that I would just like was trying to tell like joke. And, these jokes weren't really the best jokes either. I was surprised that it got select. I was just like, no way. You guys really want me up there telling these terrible jokes? I'm like, all right, well,
no,
let's do it. So it makes sense
because
now.
you could bring a delivery that like the other people could because it was so cookie cutter, right? It's like what people expected.
It was definitely
And we already
outside of yes, it was definitely
the
outside of the
valedictorian was
norm.
going to deliver that, right? So Kaylee's speech was going to deliver something more traditional
For
from that
sure.
time.
Yep.
And
That
so
makes
I don't,
sense.
like that was my point was like, why are you going to have two speeches that basically mirror each
Well,
other?
and then Bree had a speech because she was senior class
Oh,
president.
yeah, senior class
So then
president.
she had a very
Absolutely.
like sort of a similar style of speech.
Yes. But in between, little like in between yours and that one, right? Like she kind of
Exactly.
tried to tie it all, right? So I think that was kind of like why we made that call.
No, that makes sense. And man, it's definitely an experience and I'll for sure remember that. So it's so funny though. It's like, yeah, thinking back.
High school was a great time. Like I did have a lot of fun. You talked about like were people bullied. You don't really remember it. I think that like I think there were people that were, and I think about certain names and people that come to mind. Like I see their faces, and I'm like, I bet they had a hard time. Like, you know what I mean? As I got older, like even then, like people made fun of them. It was like
It's
it's
true.
rough.
Yeah, and it's like like, and I say this too, like sometimes the things that we don't focus on, hey, think those things might have been happening, but because I didn't focus on it, or like we didn't focus on like seeing people being bullied, doesn't mean it didn't happen. Another thing I brought up too is like a lot of times a lot of bullying happened inside of groups, right? So like maybe
Right.
like it didn't happen between groups, but like people that are like that played football, you might have seen that, so, or people that were in, like cheerleading, that maybe it happened within that, like, I don't know. I'm not saying that it did. I'm just saying that I think you would see that a little bit more from my point of view. But like I said, I could have been totally blind because I wasn't focused on it. So maybe you brought up a great point that maybe it was
I
happening,
just
because
remember.
it's like, it's not like we were that much different, than.
Yeah, I just remember people like I know like Sean Evans. He was on newspaper staff. I feel like he had a hard time. He was in theater as well. People like Scott Burnside, Mike Wunsch, Tom Hess. As far as the guys go, I was really surprised to hear that from Martha Haggett. Like I didn't really talk to her in high school, so I was
Yeah.
kind of surprised to hear her of like what she went through, and that was very surprising because I always felt like she was in like people liked her and she
Oh, it was different in
was
high
okay.
school. It was different in high school. Like she basically said her junior high was horrible. It was just like,
Yeah,
and that it actually got better when she got into high school. Like it wasn't there as much as it was in junior high. Because I do remember that, like
yeah,
kids trying to tease not her, not just her, but like her sister too. I remember
yeah.
they didn't really have a good experience in junior high. And in high school it kind of went away, and I was kind of the same thing. I didn't really talk with her in either, like during that process, which is why I was like thankful that she came on the show, and so that's why it's like I kind of want whoever to come on, even if you never talk to me or whatever, like just pretend I'm just some random dude, like, and like I'm so thankful out of all the people to like share her story. I'm thankful that she was able to share hers just because of what she's done since then. And like, and but
Sure.
she went
That
through
was
it,
huge.
like she went through it tough in junior high. And then,
It's interesting that like she brought up the Spanaway folks, like embraced her and was like totally cool with like whoever she was, right?
yes.
You think about guys like Randy Panotes,
Yep.
uh, Josh Brown, right? Like Corey
Yep.
Jones, Mickey Travis, Daniel Jones, Derek Coley, Jared Medeiros, like all those
Yeah.
guys, like I kind of grew up with. Like in the scope of it, all like pretty good people, right? That maybe not made some of the best choices here and there, but
A
like
thousand
really good
percent. Like I
people.
love all those dudes, man. Like, you know what I mean? It's like I have nothing but good memories with them, just because it's like
Yeah,
yeah, I just have good memories. It's like I think sometimes people get bad raps just because, like you said, maybe some of the choices they made weren't like the best. But all in all, like if you got to know people, and I think that's just the problem. I think a lot of times we don't like people we don't know, or maybe that we don't understand. But like, man, if you kind of sit down and like if everybody gets a chance to like have a conversation, kind of like how we're doing right now, man, you get to find out so many things, pull back the layers of the onion. You get to like really
yeah,
get to know people in a different level. Cause even like a conversation that we're having like this right now, it's hard to even have this type of conversation with even your own friends, let alone strangers or classmates or
yeah.
whoever. So it's such
But
a
like,
weird format that but it allows for like us to really like dive deep, and which is why I like doing podcasts. It's like, man, a lot of times we have all these like fake conversations, small talk, which, sometimes people have all the time, it's like, oh, how was your weekend? But this is tight. You can actually like, people are unpacking trauma, and like, it's such yeah, it's so crazy.
I think the difference is like seeking to understand versus like just waiting to talk next, right?
Yes,
Try to understand where people are coming from and like understand their perspective, point of view, putting yourself in their place, like putting yourself aside. Like you're just not waiting to talk all the time. Like people in
for
our
sure.
community that are from in a way like have been through a lot. You don't know people's stories until they come on here and share whatever they're willing to share. And that takes a lot of like bravery to do that, and a lot of like guts to come out there, put it out there for the world to hear.
1,000%,
like,
man. And a lot of times and I've done it myself on the show where it's like, hey, like, we'll talk about how like, oh, everybody was pretty much middle class. I've kind of said it like everybody was, and then you find out you interview different people later, and it's like, oh no, there was people that were below that were like struggling, and then it's like, damn, like you don't know people's situation, and so man, that's why it's like I understand that there's kind of a responsibility, like of having something like this and not just having everything skewed one way. Cause like even I've had to basically counter things I've already said on this, which have been wrong, so it's like I'm wrong a lot. And so, yeah.
Hey, admitting that's the first step. Like it's really crazy, like what we experience as people. And let me go back to like being on FHA leadership with Van Star. Yeah, I know he's no longer with us, and I hesitate
God,
sometimes.
I would love to have him. Like if he was alive, I would basically a lot of the people that have passed. I would have loved to have conversations with all of them.
Let me tell you about like what a stand-up like that guy is. We're at junior high, and he's a big kid, right? Like he fucking played O line, right? Like he's a big kid. His brother was a big dude. I feel like I'm okay to share this because he's no longer here, and other people saw this. He shows up to school one day, and we're in an FHA meeting, and he's got a black eye. We're like, what the fuck, right? What happened to you? He doesn't want to talk about it. And Miss Richardson, who was an FHA teacher, she was like a home ec teacher, was like kind of like just like she was good about this. She was like she probably had been through something similar where she was like trying to ask him questions. Finally, it was just like him, her, and just like our FHA leadership team together. And he like discloses and he like kind of breaks down a little bit. He was protecting his mom from boyfriend or spouse or whatever. It's like, dude, you never know. You just don't know. It's like stuff like that made us closer.
Yeah.
And you just like, you just want to take care of those people. Like, holy shit, like this kid is in junior high. And this is what he's going through.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Right?
Yeah, man. That's what I mean. It's like, I think the other thing too that I wanted to bring up, man, is like, man, I'm also thankful that like we got to go to like UW together, and then during that UW, and then we kind of were talking about this before the show, but like in recording this, depending on when you're watching this, it's been 25 years since we lost one of lost a person that went to Spanaway Lake who actually graduated in the year 2000.
Yeah. Travis
so yeah, it's like and like Zach, I don't know if he'll ever come on this, and I don't think he will. But, this is Zach's little brother. He graduated 2000, and he had passed away July 2nd, 2000. Literally weeks after they had graduated from high school. He was set to come to UW, and then he was in this like freak drowning accident and stuff. And then, so we lost him. And it's just like, man, like I did an episode with Chip Wade where we were kind of talking about like Brian Sweeney. And so it's just like, and like you're kind of bringing up stories with Van Star and, man, it's crazy how many people, I mean, it just happens with age, like where you're going to lose people along the way. And so, but man, we just lost Travis so early. And it's like, just kind of crazy.
A stud, man. Yeah. He had such a bright future. Crazy thing. I thought about this recently. Ironic because you're saying it's 25-year anniversary. Heinz, your number was 42. You have like one of the only retired numbers of all of us at Spanaway because Coach Rowe retired that number for Trav, right?
Yeah, 1,000%.
He was like, and then I remember us all being there. We're sitting together. Coach Rowe's giving a eulogy. And he's like calling out our names. Do you remember that? Like he's like, and I see guys like Jason Inoue and heinz.togafau, Rob Rester. He's like calling out our names. And we're just like, oh, he got me. Like he breaks down, he's crying. He's like, Rich will always be for you. And like, we're just like, holy shit.
Well, he takes the jersey. This is what I remember is like, he takes the jersey and then he puts it over the casket and he's just sobbing and like, that was ingrained in that, like that. I mean, I think there wasn't a dry eye around. Like, I think we're all just dying. Like, we're all crying profusely. Seeing our coach, seeing Coach Roback do that with. Yeah,
it still gets me
because he was even like, man. He just said some like, man. It just like the words that he said that day was just like, man. just brought me to tears, man, for sure. And just like losing Travis that young. He had such a bright future, had so many like great things he was going to do, and like, you know, all the accomplishments, and just getting ready to go to UW. And like, shoot, we would have all been at UW together. Me, you, Zach, like all of us, like, right? So
Yeah.
it's just kind of crazy, man.
Yeah, Travis wasn't he ASB president? Was he ASB president or senior class president? ASB president.
Well,
right?
One of his friends agreed to come on, and like I think there's going to be more 2000, because I mean I'm opening. This is for everybody, right? So if you're from Spanaway, like I said, if you just want to come on, but I've asked some of his friends because of this event. You know, I was just like, man, you know, you want to come on, and they're going to be on, and like, yeah, man, because you know the fact that we weren't there. Yeah, I'm curious to know like what happened. Like I'm you know, like, you know, those years that when we were away at UW, you know, what was that like those last couple of years with Travis? And yeah, so it'll be interesting.
You brought up that party that you were at, that you were in the pool. You brought up that party you were at, you were in the pool.
Yes.
Do you remember that? Like you're in the pool, it was Katie. It was Katie's aunt's house in Des Moines. Or Edmonds. Edmonds.
It was somewhere up north.
And they had that white carpet that I got sick on. And she had to like,
that's right.
Try to clean it. I remember this. Yeah, it was in Edmonds. It was Katie's aunt's house or something like that. And I felt so bad for that, but I do recall that whole thing going down.
Yes, because it was bad. I mean, we were too young, and dude, Tim had to go to the hospital, and it was just like, we just, you know, for having access to a pool, but never growing up around the pool, we would just did dumb stuff in the pool, and just was basically in the pool way too long, and like, especially without sunscreen, like we should have at least had like t-shirts on, you know, like just, I think a t-shirt would have saved both him and myself like a lot of trouble. Like looking back, just having, or even a tank top would have helped out. No, a t-shirt would have been the best.
Anything.
Because the sun got us that day.
Katie was great. Like she was so nice. I love that she was always trying to be like this folk singer. She would like play at the Hub or wherever she could. Like,
you know. Yeah, no, for sure. No, she was hella cool. Because that's the other thing too. So we went to UW together. So then we also have all these like UW memories. Like a lot of times we took care of each other a lot of times. Because there's a time I remember me and Nalder took care. You were at our dorm and we had to take care of you. Yeah. And I have been taking care of, man, there's a lot of like, as a group, we all kind of took care of each other at times when we would get a little carried away. This is right.
Like, I didn't even live with you guys here. I was like across campus at like Lander, living with Yunjin, who's going with Gavin.
Yep.
To the day, my number one question is, what the hell happened to Gavin Chung? I have no clue. I don't know.
So he has a successful business. He makes bank right now selling. He has a popcorn stand outside of Safeco, or outside of what's it called now? T-Mobile and Lumen. Yeah, he makes pretty good. And so he's such a like an entrepreneur too, because like during that era, you know, a lot of people couldn't bring things into the stadiums, into both of them. And so like he's like the first vendor in that area that basically he built like lockers that where you could, you know, like if you had like if you had like a knife on you, or if say you had a gun on you, or you could put these in a locker. So he would sell locker space, and he makes bank off of that. But what's so funny now that if you go down that area, everybody sells locker space now. He's like the OG. He's the first one to do that. And so it's just so funny. But yeah, man, he's got his little entrepreneur.
Dude, the crazy part about that is I had that idea for airports. Put those lockers in airports. And I've been talking about this for a few years now. Like if we had lockers in airports for knives, guns, and all that stuff, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
why not?
I don't know if you even want that stuff close to the on premises though. That's the thing. So I think
here in Texas, people are bringing that shit to airports. So like,
yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, you know what's funny? Because I remember being in Texas, going to the Texas State Fair in Dallas, and you know, everybody like, you know, you could bring your gun in there. And so what's crazy is like you could drink everywhere. There's no like beer garden section. You could drink everywhere and everybody can carry their gun freely. And in a weird sense, man, like, you know, I was there for the food and like that kind of that crossed my mind. But like, I mean, if you think about it, nothing happens. Like they have the fair every year and there's like nothing crazy. There's no crazy violence that happens there. Right. So have you been to that fair yet? The Texas State
No,
Fair in Dallas? Oh, it's dope.
no, DFW, no, have
It's
not. I've
dope.
been to
It's dope.
Houston's, like the rodeo
Okay. Yeah.
Houston, mass, also pretty dope. Like, but no, like that's definitely on the list. Austin has like a rodeo fair too, but like we haven't been yet. But
Yeah.
no, like I've always wondered what the hell happened to freaking. Does he go by Gavin or does he go by Yunjin?
I think he goes by Gavin. Yeah. And I'm like, I've hit him up because like, you know, after I seen him, like, dude, he's like, yeah, he's the homie. Like, he'll hook it up with like popcorn every now and then if I'm going to a Mariners game. It's been a few years though, obviously, because I haven't been back home. But like he basically told me the margins that he makes off of it, and I'll tell you maybe after the show. But it's like he makes bank though.
It's
The margins are crazy. The margins are crazy.
gotta be like
He does so
80%.
well.
It's gotta
So
be
he's like, what's that?
better than construction. Probably 80%.
But yeah, like I'll trust me. I'll tell you after. It's like I just don't want to like. But I mean, he probably doesn't care. But I want him to come on the show and share his story of like kind of like, you know, basically everything that he's doing. But he makes, let's just say he makes bank. Right? He's doing good, and so I'd love to have him on the show. I've hit him up. He hasn't hit me back, so it's like I get it. So a lot of people just don't want to be on the show, and I'm okay with that. So, but like I'll be here, and like maybe he will one day.
Maybe like, you know, we were roommates that freshman year, and like I rarely saw him. Like I rarely saw him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was doing this thing. Him and Stefan would just like go out like all the time, and then him and I went to like the USC 3-year anniversary party.
Yeah,
like giant rave
you guys would go to the raves. Yeah.
And so we got like started doing that whole thing, and then like that kind of catapulted me like into that whole sphere thing.
Yeah.
Pretty much when you finish college.
Yeah, no, man, that is, it's kind of, and then, cause then you were also, yeah. And then in college, so that would have been, oh, where were you at for 9/11, by the way?
So I was at my girlfriend's apartment. I walked out and we turned the TV on. I'm like, what is happening? I remember like walking out there, turning the TV on, like, what is this? And
Yeah.
we looked at it. I'm like, hey, what is going on? Like, we're all like her roommate and like all these people. We're just out there like looking at this, like, what is going on? And I remember the sun coming in, like it was early morning. Did we go to class? What do we do? Like, what's the threat? Like, do we stay? Do we go to class? Like, it's university shut down. Like, what's the protocol for something like this, right?
Yeah.
And they just kept replaying it. I'm like, this doesn't even look real. Like,
Yeah.
why? Like, what is going on? It's fucking wild. And so we just kind of like just stayed in place, and we're like just waiting to hear, like, what do we do? Because the university didn't have like some like way to disseminate information at the time. And,
For sure.
I always had 8:30 classes. Freaking science classes, always 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And there wasn't anything. I'm like, do I go to class? Fuck, I'm not going.
Yeah.
I'm not going. I'm not going to class.
No, man.
Didn't go to class. We just watched it and was like, what do we do? Do we know anybody in New York? Like,
yeah.
Do we need to call people? Do we need to call people in other cities? Like, her family is in LA. I'm like, do I need to call my parents? And like, what? I don't know. Right? Weird.
Yeah. No, man, it was no, it's such a crazy time. So,
well,
yeah,
like,
man.
she was concerned. Her dad was a Marine Corps colonel.
Oh, wow.
Retired, right? And it's like, is he going to get called back into service? Like,
yeah.
We need him to like do whatever, right? I don't know. Like, we're just trying to figure out like what are we doing as a country? Like, what are the next steps? You know, my dad got a letter was like, hey, we could recall you. It's like, do you really want to recall me? I'm like 60 years old. Like, do you really want to come back?
Yeah. Shoot. Well, DJ's dad went back in and he was like late 50s. So that's what's so crazy. Like it actually happened where somebody, this dude actually went. So that's what's so crazy. Yeah, man.
He went.
So crazy.
DJ's dad was a unit, right? Like he was prepared. He was like, I'm going back for my soldiers. I'm gonna do this. Like that's some stuff that like that hero.
Crazy. Yeah, man. Yeah. And it's crazy because he was literally like he was so close. He was like
Yeah.
within
Go ahead.
a month or week, like away from his 60th birthday. So he died he was like a few days away from turning 60,
Yeah.
and he,
Yep.
yeah, damn, it's just so crazy. It's just like, yeah, man, it's just like,
But
damn,
you know what? Like he was doing something that like he really loved to do. Like the military
a
gave him.
thousand percent.
Sounds like I don't really know him that well. It gave him purpose. Like he loved it. He was ready to go to action. Like he's like,
He
sign
did.
me up.
No,
Like
he
send
was
me
one of
over
those
type of thing.
dudes. He was one of those
And
dudes.
we're
He
like,
was literally, yeah, that was kind of his
and he's
aura.
not like I mean, he was
Yeah.
like, send me to into infantry, and
Yeah.
I'm like,
No, it's crazy.
okay,
Yeah.
like
For real.
right. And DJ's like the most gentle soul, right? Like DJ is like the
Hella
most like
calm. Yeah.
he's so like easy, calm, like. And his dad was like high speed. His dad was so high speed.
Yeah. No, for sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
like, you gotta respect that. You gotta respect every
A
piece of it.
1000%. 1000%. 1000%. And then, yeah. And then, what you call it? Yeah, we had fun at UW. Any UW stories that, I had Jay on, and I obviously had him share some. Did you
What
have?
kind of UW stories do you want to hear, Heinz?
Let's go with UW stories involving, kind of like us Spanaway people. Let's kind of like narrow it down. And then ones that didn't involve any breaking of the laws. Or if there
Sorry.
was, just leave that out and just tell the other part of the
Yeah,
story.
yeah. No, that's legit. Do you remember we would play so much pool our freshman year down in McMahon Hall, and then we also played a lot of poker. Like, and then like what was that casino that like everyone wanted to go to play poker at? It was in Lake City,
Ken
like on Lake City
Kenmore
Way.
Lanes. Kenmore Lanes. Yeah. It's where Lake City
Kenmore
Way
Lane.
turns into Kenmore. I think it turns into Kenmore Way or something like that. And then, yeah, Chip lives right by there right now. He lives in Kenmore. So it's like that place is 5 minutes from his
It's
house.
the one.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. Oh no, get this. This is crazy. So I went into a fraternity after our freshman year, right? I went to Psi Upsilon.
Yep. Yep.
Derek Martinez is right there, right? He
Shout
went to
out to Psi
Spanaway. Derek
Upsilon.
Martinez, one of the homies, Derek Martinez. Derek Martinez hooked me up like you wouldn't believe there in ways that allowed me to get into places where I wasn't old enough to get into. Wild story
Yeah.
about that. So yeah. Anyway, because we look alike. So funny. Derek Martinez was in there, and then gosh, where's I going with this? I think like we just had a great time there. It was such like it reminded me of Spanaway, like the people that
Yeah.
were in that fraternity. It was a lot
Yeah.
of it wasn't like the other fraternities on campus where like you had people that went to like Seattle Prep and O'Day and like
For sure.
Washington and Roosevelt. It was like it just reminded me of home in a sense, and it made us different. And it didn't make us the biggest. I think at
Yeah.
one point we had like 85 active members, which is pretty large, honestly.
Yeah.
But like honestly, a great time. So one of the guys I met there that was in my class was a guy named Chuck Dula, who I still keep in touch with. Great guy. He went to
Yep.
Curtis High School. His mom owns
Okay.
the Godfather's Pizza at Spanaway.
Oh, way. No way.
Yeah. So like we would go there. Like I was there one time. He's like, we're going somewhere. We're in South Tacoma for some reason. He's like, dude, we should stop at the Godfather's Pizza my mom's working. And I'm like, okay. He's like, yeah, my mom owns it. So we roll into this Godfather. His mom's there. She owns
Which is
this
so
thing.
funny.
And we
The
get
fun the funniest thing is that place is so cheap. That their buffet deal was so cheap. It was like $5, for a buffet. So it's like so hilarious. But that's dope still.
Yes, yeah. Chuck Dula, his mom owns Godfather's Pizza in Spanaway. Or I guess his parents. They have an interesting deal going on, but like his dad works.
Is that still that's not still there, is it? Is that still there?
I think it's still there.
No way.
I think it's still
Snap.
there. Can somebody in Spanaway confirm or deny that Godfather's Pizza is still there in that parking lot? I think
For
it's still there.
real.
Yeah.
Dude, because I mean, I
Right
loved going there. I loved going there in high school. I mean, that was the spot.
Yeah, so random. No, Chuck Dula and I are like good friends. Also, Chuck Dula was a great musician. That guy could play the drums, play guitar, play bass. I think he plays other instruments. And then him and I would go out into that whole Seattle rave scene and do the thing. And like I was DJing, and he would like kind of DJ and also play music through like a drum machine, a MIDI, and all this stuff. I think he still does some of it. Like I think he's on Spotify doing his thing. He lives in Portland now, like just having a good time. So you
Dude,
never
that's
know who you
crazy.
meet and like the connections, right? You never
For
know. You
sure.
just never
For
know. So
sure.
be nice to people, like be good to
Yeah.
people, and learn about them and figure out like what they're about because connections are crazy.
Yeah, I mean that's another reason why I do this is just to kind of like kind of rebuild connections. Like for example, I haven't talked to Shwari since man, probably maybe even before UW. You know what I mean? Like I have not remembered, so like I like kind of like, oh man, this is just like nice being able to kind of reconnect and then like I just kind of do this for Spanaway in general. So like even if I don't know you or you don't know me and you're from Spanaway and you want to come on, I want to like if you want to come on, come on. I'd love to hear. I love hearing Spanaway stories from any genre. Like I would love to hear stories of Spanaway from the 80s and then even since we were in school. Like so if you graduated in the
You have no idea.
2000s or go ahead.
So think about okay. So I know you guys were talking about like people like that are funny from Spanaway. Like there's a lot of funny people. Like we're kind of like
Yes.
comedians. We have a good time. Did you know that fucking Joe Coy went to Spanaway Lake?
I did not until like I
So
mean like literally maybe like 2 or 3 years ago when he cut a promo that he was going to be at Tacoma Dome and he gave Spanaway
yeah,
Lake a shout out. And then that was just like,
yeah,
oh, he gave a shout out to Foss and to Spanaway Lake.
yeah.
And then
He
finding
graduated
out
from
that
Foss.
he went to Spanaway Lake, but he graduated from Foss. And I was just like, I
Yeah,
didn't even know. So I
want to
was
talk
like,
about funny people,
he's
right?
hilarious. He's hilarious.
So like that's like I don't know. There's just something about like the dynamic of people that come together in these communities that have experiences that they can draw upon that are relatable
For
to
sure.
so many people, right? We just, I just think that we're more
Yeah, but speaking
connected than we
speaking
think
of though,
we
like senior year for dudes, who do you think were out of the guys? Who do you think were the funniest guy out there? Like our senior year, just
I think
random,
Tim Armitage is
curious.
up. Tim Armitage for sure
Yeah.
is up there. I mean, you know who's low key funny was Rob Rester. You had to really know him though
Okay.
to let you in, like because I've known Rob since we were in like first or second grade, and so like I saw
Yeah.
all the funny moments of Rob Rester. Brian Slater was funny as shit too, man. Like you
I
wouldn't
thought Brian was
believe,
funny.
like
Yeah.
that guy was funny. And then I
Well,
know that
because
James
I think
Jackson
Rob.
was.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
just never like hung out with
He
James.
won it. He won funniest. So
Yeah,
obviously.
I just
But like,
wasn't
I
around
think
him as much, you know.
what did you think of Billy senior year?
Dude, I thought Billy was funny.
So funny because I think Billy is hilarious now, and I brought this up multiple times, and I've asked him to be on the show, and he has respectfully declined.
You
But
think
it's
he'll
okay.
come on?
Maybe things will change. Well,
Oh,
no, it's like I don't know. I think he will eventually, but maybe he won't. I don't know. It's up to whoever. Like I don't want to force people to come on. Like the energy's way better when you want to come on. So it's like even if I try to
sure.
beg somebody to come on, then it's like so I kind of give out these loose invites like I give out the invite and if you're like fighting it man I'm not gonna like I said the energy works way better when you want to be on the show versus me like trying to drag you on so that's why no matter how close or how like not close we are it doesn't matter it's like it's more about like energy like so I think Billy would be hilarious like Billy would probably be he'd be a great episode but at the same time it's like it's not going to be a great episode if he doesn't really want to be on here so it's kind of like
Yeah. I mean,
you know
so we're kind of mentioning people we would hang out with and have a good time with. And I feel very fortunate to be able to have had that experience, like with people who are in grades above me as well as below me. Like I
yeah
hung out with people like um, Cassie Cushman and Angela Gilmer under Krushka. Like they were a class ahead of us, and we go like
yep
camping at Alder Lake and have a good time out there. We go to Christina Portman's house in the summertime and like hang
yep
out. Angela Burkhart would be there. Jeff Abbott, his house, like 'cause he had a big property, and we were just like just having a good time with a lot of people.
yeah
And then like when we're seniors, sophomores, hanging out with a lot of them and just we're just hanging out, having a good time wherever we could. And so I feel very fortunate. Like I had an experience with a wide range of people while I was
no that's
there,
dope
and we got
yeah
to like
your
yeah, it
mom
was
was a
yeah,
gangster about
just
like making sure like dude if you even step foot on your property for like 30 seconds, your mom would make sure you had like a full meal before leaving. It's like, dude,
For
are you
sure.
serious? Like, this is crazy. But no, man, your mom's the best and stuff like that. So it's like, where your parents, like, so what's their history? Where were they like brought up and stuff? And okay. No way. Oh, wow. I love Baltimore. Wow. I love it there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I have a good friend that he lives right. The town is called Perryville. It's basically right halfway in between Baltimore and Philadelphia. So Baltimore to Philadelphia is about
Okay.
2 hours away from each other. Perryville is boom, right stick in the middle, right between those two places. And yeah, I love going out there. Like, I obviously don't like the summer because it's kind of like similar to like Austin
So
summer.
cute.
It's humid. Yeah, it's humid and hot in the summer. But the rest of the year, man, I
Yeah.
like it. It's chill and it's like when last time I was out there, I went to go see Bree because Bree lives in Virginia. So like that was like a 2 hour drive from their house. And then like Baltimore is also like a 2 hour drive from New York. So I have friends in New York. So it's just like, I love that area. It's like, dude, I loved how like the East Coast, everything is so close. I just got one of
It's
those
connected.
Turos. Yeah, I basically rented a
Yeah.
Turo from somebody. Like it was super cheap. And then yeah, I just basically rented that car and then drove from New York to Maryland, Baltimore, and then that area, and then kept going to see Bree in Virginia. And so it was just like, damn, I love being out in that area. Just how close. I guess Bree was saying just because there's like people like from Spanaway that live out there. I think Robbie lives out there. Dacier lives out there. And then
Yeah. Like he said,
I
PA or
think,
something like that. Oh my gosh. I got crazy. Oh, so, speaking of that,
yeah.
like I had all this in my head. Rob Dossier, his dad was Jim Dossier, real estate agent, Crescent Realty. These are all things that I randomly remember. He had a GTO in their garage. Their first house, we would play football in their front lawn. And they bought this property not far from there. And this property was massive. We had a baseball field in their backyard. And we would play baseball
Whoa.
in their backyard all summer long. Like we would pitch and like take batting practice. Like it was just a good time playing like baseball in Rob's backyard. Like those are good memories, man. Like
That's so
it was
funny.
so
Like
much
when
fun.
I think of any type of sports, my bad to cut like when I think of any type of sports, like as far as growing up, I have so many memories. And man, there's actually I should have queued this up because I have a man, but there's like a lot of the sports I played was at Daniel Chavez's house. And it was either basketball in his backyard because there's actually a picture from high school. God, and I wish I queued that up. Maybe I'll bring it up on another episode where if he comes on or somebody from that. But you're in that picture. There's this picture. There's a bunch of us. I'm not even in the picture, but it's like Robert's in
And we're
there. It's
hooping
like
at
such a
Daniels.
random mix. It's like you're in there. I want to say senior
Really,
year.
we're hooping at
Well,
that makes
it
sense.
looks like
Like
we're
we
at
used to
like a
hoop at
barbecue.
Randy
It
Pinto.
looks, yeah, man.
Yeah,
Actually,
we
let
went
me try
fishing.
to see if I could pull this up. I'm gonna try to see if I could pull this up.
I think that was the day we went fishing, and Daniel caught this like 20-pound salmon, and we were barbecuing it. That's where we're
Dude,
hooping in the
there's
back.
hella people in the picture. Let me
Yeah, no,
I'm gonna
because
pull
we
it up.
caught that
I'm gonna pull it
20-pound
up. I just need
salmon,
to
and
email
he
it to myself real quick.
no, legit. I think we were fishing and he caught that 20-pound salmon. They're like, invite everyone. We're going to eat this. Everyone came over. We are just hooping out back. And that reminds me of like what everyone was saying about hooping at Randy's. Like Randy Panutes, like across the street there, down the way. And we were just like playing
Yeah.
on the cul-de-sac there with Randy.
Yes.
But no, Daniel's house was a spot. We would always hang out at D's house. His parents, like, they were great. They were always so
Hella
welcoming.
cool.
They never
Hella
kicked
cool.
us out. Like, I felt like I should have kicked us out so many times.
They should have kicked us out so many times. I remember, so I played hella basketball at his house in the back, but then we actually played hella football because you said the front yard too. It's so funny. We played
Yeah,
hella
yeah.
street football in the front of his house
Football.
too.
I never see kids
Just being
doing that
dope.
anymore.
Yes. We would have to wait. Traffic would come by and then like, you got to let the cars go through. And then we just get back on the street and then like, all right,
Yeah,
first down and, just like being out there slinging
we
the
play
rock or
street.
whatever.
Yeah. And you know, like if we didn't have a regular football, we played that Nerf Turbo football. Do you remember that?
Yes. No. Yes. 1,000%. Those were. Yeah. You're right. It does feel like nobody. Like I don't know. I haven't been around, but it's like maybe obviously with technology, kids are outside less. But man, we had video games back then. Like I played a lot of video games, but I felt like it was way more fun to be outside hanging out with people than it was to be on it to play video games. But that's kind of one of those.
That's the thing. Like, if you want to get good at football, play football. If you want to get good at baseball, fucking play baseball. You know what I'm saying? Like
1,000%.
These parents are spending all this money to send their kids and do this and that. Like, you can get so much experience by playing street ball like that you can't get anywhere else. Like, you just got to just do it. But
yes,
you got to get a group together, right?
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like, but it's also one of those things where, like, kind of like how I was talking about the podcast, where it's like, man, you don't want to just force people to do things that they don't necessarily want. So it's kind of like, I mean, how do you do that? You know? And so, because you kind of want kids to. What's that?
Just play. Just speaking from experience, just play. Just play. Play the sports. Like, have fun.
Yeah. No, man. No, I get that. No, man. That makes sense. Let me see if I could pull this up. I think I'm gonna. Yeah. You're gonna like this. And while I'm downloading that, let me try to do this ad read. I tried to do this ad read with Slater in the last episode, but I was so terrible. So let me just do this real quick. Hey, get ready for the ultimate Pacific celebration. Join us at the free Tanoa Festival on Saturday, July 26th at Tahoma High School in Tacoma, Washington from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Experience authentic Samoan culture with live performances featuring Big Pati and Lapi Mariner. Enjoy traditional food vendors, arts and crafts, and free giveaways for the whole family. It's part of the Samoan Cultural Week, a day of music, culture, and community you won't want to miss. Admission is completely free. Bring your family and celebrate Pacific culture with us. Thank you. Now let's see if I can share this photo screen.
Is this from D-Logue's house from that day?
This is from D-Logue's house from that day. Let's see if I could share my screen. Okay, can you see? Is it sharing?
It's not yet.
Okay, here we go. Let's see. There we go. Can you see?
No, that was not the day.
This is a crazy random day.
That was like a day they had just had a barbecue.
Yeah.
I remember this. Dang. Dude, I'm sitting next to Joel Martinez. And
okay, let's see. Let's see. This is pretty fun. Yeah. So, right, like, talk about like the mix of people here. So we got.
This was a random barbecue at Chavez.
Yeah. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit more.
I had those shoes for the longest time. Those freaking pennies. Or wait, no, the Zoom, the Jason Kidd.
That's crazy. So we got DJ. We got DJ and Rob. DJ, looks like. Right? I think that could be Jeff. That could also Billy. Be Goodall.
Oh, you're right. Right. That's probably Goodall. And then Billy, right?
That looks like Billy. Yep. And then that's Weddle. Yep. And then Joel.
Yep. Sarah Vanderplat.
Yep.
Young June.
And then Young June.
I can't tell who that is. Is that Simba? I think by the shoes, I think it's Simba.
Is that Simba? I was going to say maybe that might be Quentin.
Oh, you're right. I'm looking at the earrings, the beanie, and the shoes. I'm like,
it's hard, though. It's hard to tell.
It's you got Zach's big dome right here, and then you got Chabe with the sideburns.
No, I think that's Aerith.
Is it Aerith with the sideburns?
I think it's Aerith.
You're right. I think it's Aerith. Oh, you're probably right. You're right.
Dude,
I saw this jersey, by the way.
It could be a Chabe, though, too. But I don't know. I can't.
You might be right. It might be Aerith. You might be right. Dude, I got this jersey still. I've worn this recently.
Dude, that's gangster. Because I don't think I have anything from high school. Like, I don't have it. Oh, no, I do. Yeah. I have, like, random Alohas. They're in a box in Vegas right now. Yeah, because half of my stuff is in Vegas. So I need to go grab all my stuff.
Shirts. Because we would have Spirit Day with Aloha shirts.
Yes.
Right? I gave them all away.
I mean, I remember I gave some away too. Like I think Nalder has. I think I gave him one. So, but crazy, huh? No, I definitely thought that was worth sharing because that was like that's such a crazy pick, and you were definitely in it. So, and then hey, don't worry about background noise. The software does a good job of like kind of minimizing that. So it's crazy because yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. Yeah, that's
Oh my
also.
god, like that's a great picture. Where'd you find that?
I think Daniel actually sent it to me. I think because I think his mom took that picture possibly, which is funny because
Dilo's
he
got
sent
quite
that
good
to me
pictures.
and like I don't think me and Daniel are in that picture, but it's hilarious how many of you guys are in that picture.
Rosie was like, "Yeah, you're on this picture, but it's a good one."
Yeah,
She said that.
exactly. And which it is. I think it, man, that's such an amazing picture. There's so many people in that picture, and like I would love to have all those people jump on the podcast and like kind of just share like if they even remember, because I don't remember that day. And I'm like, I'm also thinking, man, was I even there that day? Like, I don't know. It's kind of a crazy picture.
It may not have been.
Yeah, who knows? But I was
It
like,
may have been that you were in Samoa for it was a summer, and like you might have been Samoa.
yeah. Cause I
You
left, I
can't
was
remember.
in Samoa one of those years. So it
I
could
think
have been.
you went 2 summers. The one you got your tattoo before, and then there's another time you
Yeah,
went.
damn, you're good. So the one I went tattoo, I actually went during winter break, and then I went another time. Man, I can't because now I think about it, like summers, I usually didn't really when we usually came in the winter. So that's what's so funny.
That's
Like
right.
summers was usually there's one yeah. So I don't know, man, it's kind of crazy, but
I
who
feel like
knows?
maybe
I think if Daniel comes on, I think Daniel will have more information. And I think he has more information. He has like more pictures and like memorabilia and like stuff from that time period. But I feel like stuff I love pictures from back then. They're like gold. Is there any stories that you can share from maybe you and D-Lux escapades? Maybe or maybe not. I know there's
we did a lot of camping with a lot of our friends from multiple classes.
yeah, that's
You know what I
dope.
mean? We had a lot of fun, like Alder Lake,
Yeah,
just up in the mountains, just camping. And then at his house, my gosh, we had so many fun times at Deluxe house. And, his backyard, like what was up with the basketball hoop? And then they had like the tree house. Like his dad built that. And I almost thought that was the craziest thing, like that treehouse system that his dad built.
yeah. I think he probably built that like super long. Like that treehouse has probably been there since like the 80s, maybe. So
Yeah. I mean, it was the wildest thing. And so, like, I think about that. I think about like being at Jeff Abbott's house. I think about being at Christina Portman's house in the summers, which was on South Hill.
yeah,
And just like having fun. We're just like always just hanging out, like just looking for ways to hang out with people and like include people. Justin, he went to Rogers
okay.
and then he was at UW with us and he was in the fraternity. He was in SAEs. Gosh, what was his name? Justin Kent. Do you remember going to his house in Puyallup?
No. Oh, maybe I might have went
So we would
once,
go to
but yeah,
yeah, we would go to his house and hang out. Like he lived on South Hill, and like we would go out there and then kind of kept in touch with them. We all went to UW together, at SAEs, and then I ended up at SIU, and like kind of still stayed in touch, kind of briefly. Yeah, that's another interesting thing. So like I had a lot of contacts outside of Spanaway. Like I had friends at Puyallup and Rogers and Fife and Curtis that I kind of was in the know, and so I know a lot of people came in on this podcast talking about how they had like they didn't really have a grasp on what the outside world was like. They kind of like went out there and they were kind of a little bit stunned by people's perception of Spanaway
for
and
sure.
the lack of diversity outside of our community. I was like super fortunate that I had a chance to travel like the country and the world a little bit and be able to see things,
Yeah,
experience people, and people who viewed us. And I heard that from kids that went to Puyallup. I heard it from kids that went to Curtis and Rogers about like what they thought of us, and it kind of put a chip on my shoulder for a while. It kind of made me like a little angry, and
yeah,
so I kind of went through like life like that for a while, and I think I still carry a bit of that.
yeah,
Because I think that like people view us in a certain way that like aren't always in a positive light, even though we view it that way. And part of this podcast is trying to change that but also like maybe having a chip on your shoulder isn't the best way. But oftentimes, like they say things that are disrespectful, and I might take a little bit of like
Offense.
take that and yeah, for sure. Like it's like when like we know I think friends I went to Bellarmine and shit, and like I know these other places in Curtis, especially those people from Curtis and Bellarmine, they just kind of like look down on you. It feels like it. Maybe they don't, but I felt like it.
Yeah.
And so that's where I get to the point of like, fuck you. Like, and I don't know how you viewed me in high school and other people view me, but like usually people view me as pretty chill. I'm pretty laid back. I don't like seek that confrontation, but like internally I do. Like I'm always kind of like in that place of like, well, fuck you, fucking bring it type of scenario.
I think there's a benefit to that though too. I think there is a benefit to having a chip on your shoulder too. So I think it can help. I'm not saying it's the most healthiest, but I think it's good. I think it like helps. I like having a chip on my shoulder because I'm not gonna lie. I get lazy very easily. So like there's nothing that motivates me than like a good chip, like a good disrespect of something, and it's like that it's
like I get shit for it a lot from my wife, who's like, everybody thinks I'm super chill and I'm this and I'm that, and people think that because I am on the exterior, but on the inside it's simmering, and I'm just waiting for the next thing to occur because the pot will boil over, and then like there's pieces of me that like. And I swallowed it for so long. Like, and I remember thinking about before I came out of this podcast, I was thinking about all these incidences with people, and I just kind of like swallowed it because I'm like, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to hurt
I was
this
the same
person. I
way.
don't want to do this.
I think we're very
You know
similar
what I mean?
like that.
I mean, people don't realize like my first fight in elementary school was my first day of first grade.
Snap.
And I don't feel like I was doing anything wrong, but I
Yeah.
remember kids being on my side, and all I did was I remember this so vividly. Like I blocked a punch like this, and I blocked a punch like this, and it was like I didn't even fight back. Like that was it.
Yeah.
And like then they stopped. And like those things like that are like being in bar fights, and you just like throw somebody with like a throw, or you like take them down, and like it's over because people just don't know what to do. They freak out.
For sure.
I feel like you just end up in this place like, where am I gonna go with this? Like these people have no fucking. Even as a child, like you're just like, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to deal with this.
Do you feel like lifting weights and working out and jujitsu helps you release that? Because I felt like football helped with me. Like I felt like just exerting myself physically and being able to do violence helps, get it out.
Yeah, football is violent.
1,000%.
I recently at 45 realized I like the contact. I like the impact.
Yeah,
and it only
same.
came through like me training with like bigger people than I am, and like really like checking them and hitting them because like I haven't had that for so long. I like the contact. Like I like it. Like fucking bring it. Like I will fucking hit you. You know what I mean? Like and it's not a normal thing. Like you gotta like realize like that's not normal. People don't like that.
It's not. Well, what's funny is like if you play and like I don't necessarily think everybody likes getting hit, but when you are the hit tour, it's different, and yes, I mean I'm being just kind of like it feels different when you're delivering the punishment when you're playing football, like it's so different than like when you're taking it, like it. I mean, because there's hits where it's like it's so weird to explain, but it's like it's kind of like going through water, and it's just like very clean, and it's just like whoa, and then that
right through them.
I've never hit a home run, but some people say it's like almost the same thing where like you hit it perfectly and it just feels so fluid and like so like is there something like that when you're playing? And so I guess you could get the same thing when you're playing contact sports or combat sports where, like, I guess if you can knock somebody out, like, I don't know what that feels like. I've never knocked anybody out. So, but
it's just like you said, it's like water.
Yeah, it's just this like weird fluid thing that happens, and it's like being on the other side of that. It sucks. So, but
no, I remember that story you told where you got hammered. I remember it. I recall it very well. I also recall when D-Rolls hit Zach Olsen coming across the middle and snot bubbles all over the face mask. 100%.
Yeah. D-Rolls gave me snot bubbles for sure. So yeah.
I remember, and like playing on offense more often than defense. That's kind of how I viewed it. Like, I'm gonna put the punishment on this defender. Like, I'm gonna take it to him. I'm gonna hit
For
them.
sure.
Like, that's how I viewed it. And then it's interesting you bring that point about hitting. That's how I played baseball.
Yeah.
I was gonna try to stroke it out there and hit bombs. And after baseball, I got into golf. Like D-Loc and I and Rob Rester, we would go play golf too. Dave Goodall, we go play golf at Spanaway or Brookdale.
Dope.
I didn't, I didn't care about anything besides hitting bombs. Like, I just wanted to crush it. Like, that's how I do it. And so, like, that makes sense now that you bring that up. Like, thank you for doing that, because that does make a lot of sense. Because I didn't give a shit about anything else besides hitting bombs. Like, I just want to hit bombs out there.
No,
To this day.
that is hilarious. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
No, it's
So I appreciate you noticing that.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you coming on and sharing all these stories. Like, this is sometimes it's hard to get stories. Like, it's crazy how people forget. Also, it's also like being on camera. People are like what's that, dog in headlights or whatever, that you just kind of like, and like, and it's hard. And I tell people, hey, remember a story, and then people are just like caught, and they're just like, I can't think of any, and it's just like, no, you've brought some banger stories out. So man, I appreciate you for that. So before we put all the toys away, just want to ask you some of these last kind of questions. If you watched, I like to ask these to almost everybody, but like when you hear the term Spanaway, like what comes to mind? Like when you hear the term, the town Spanaway, what do you think of?
Honestly, like diversity, a little bit hood, but like good people. The people that are there are good people. We've had some things that are not great in the community, but there was a period where I'm like, I didn't want to be. I wasn't proud of being from Spanaway. Honestly, like, it's just difficult. You don't want that stigma. You don't want people asking questions, and like,
yeah,
shit starts to.
I mean, I think there's people today that are not very proud of being from Spanaway. So no,
that's my honest answer. And today, with things like what you're doing with this, like, you start to realize.
Oh man, that's honest.
How
I love the honesty.
About where we're from and what it means. Because like I said, like, I had that chip on my shoulder where I was like, fuck you. Like, what do you mean? You know what I mean? Like, we have good people. We're doing good things. Like,
For sure.
Dude, like, when we have like people like, I think Sona Kwan went to Harvard. Larry Larson, who went to Bellin, but he's from Spanaway. He's fucking grew up, born and raised Spanaway. Like, went to Harvard, went to Pepperdine for law school.
Yeah.
Green. Like, we have a lot of, and there's countless others, like, like that have gone on.
Yeah.
Mark Shadell, who went to Washington University, St. Louis, like big time engineer for, I think, like, people are doing great things. Like, Brian talked about his sisters.
Yeah, I know.
Thing is that you don't realize sometimes.
No, man, so proud of all of those. Like, yeah, man, that's what just shows, like, man, how, like, man, I love hearing people just doing things, regardless of like what, like, I don't know, people like, I don't know, I'm just, the way people talk about Spanaway, maybe like the education, okay, maybe it wasn't the best in the state, but it just wasn't the worst either. And so, I don't know, this is a very unique podcast where it's just like, hey, I'm just getting a bunch of Spanaway people together to kind of like rehash and just talk about some history and that happened years ago. And so it's like, like,
man, here's what's crazy. Like, you say we may not have, we went to UW. UW is like ranked 8th in the world right now for education. You know that? Like, 8th.
Yeah.
Public university. That's wild. I was a science major.
No, man, reminded me.
Every quarter, we were graded on a curve, but like the curve was wild because everybody's like pre-med, pre-dental, pre-pharmacy, and my parents really wanted to go to pharmacy. But like that meant 10% of the class was gonna fail every quarter. Like, you're done.
Yeah.
Like, don't even fucking bother. You're done. You got a 0.
I took microbiology. I had no business taking microbiology. I knew I was not going to be a doctor or a nurse. I knew I was not going to get into the medical field or anything that has to do with biology. That class was so hard. I was like, why am I even? And I was in there because I knew I had friends that were going into those fields. And I just thought I was that smart where I could, I'll just take microbiology with you guys. That was so dumb.
No,
but
it's so difficult.
I learned. So, but
like, if you can survive UW science, where 10% of people fail every quarter. That's every 10 weeks. Like, if you don't realize that, every 10 weeks, 10% of your class is failing out and will never return. Like, they're
That's
not,
crazy.
their
Yeah.
pre-med, pre-whatever days are over. You got a 0.0. And our curve was always shifted, right? Because we had super smart people. So the curve wasn't a 2.0. What 2.0? What was our average score? 2.0. Yeah, because 4.0 was the middle, was the high end. So 2.0.
Yeah.
So the curve was set 2.0. Most people were going to get a 2.0. Dude, that curve was shifted so far up the line because of those folks. Like, you had to score a 3.0 to get a 2.0 score in those classes.
Crazy. Yeah. Did you
That
graduate
is just
UW?
not okay. Yeah, I did.
What year did you graduate? I
different.
didn't graduate till 10 years after 2008. I finally
I
cleared all my
graduated in
credits and all
03.
that.
I
Okay.
graduated in
03.
03,
Yeah.
so it took me 5 years. My downfall was I tried to double major in molecular cellular biology and Japanese.
Okay.
They're
Damn.
so different. And double major would have literally took me 6 years.
Damn. Yeah.
So I just was like, I can't do this. I can't be here another year. Like, I'm just gonna end it with a minor. I can't. Like, this is insane.
I took classes up until 03, and then I was so close to finishing and I just didn't. And then like I ended up getting a job at Washington Mutual and I was just like, I got a job now, so I'm good. And then next thing you know, it's like life happens.
I remember you were Washington Mutual at the same time I was at National City. I was in the mortgage National City.
Yeah. Yep. I was doing mortgages. Yeah.
And Bree was too.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're the whole mortgage.
Yeah, that's right. Such a crazy time.
Definitely. We haven't even gotten to that point. I mean, on again, like I'll definitely like be willing to talk again. Like because there's things that pop up, like Chrissy Fortin was in, or I don't know what her last name's now, but she's at Fort Leonard Wood.
For sure.
I was at Fort Leonard Wood for
and especially because hella people turn me down anyway. So it's like, man, I'm gonna definitely bring folks back. Like I'm already trying to bring like Corey Alexander and James Jackson back, just like, I don't know. It's just fun. These have been fun. So it's like, I just want to bring back, I've already brought Jay back. I brought both Jays on twice now. So it's like, dude, there's no rules to any of this. I'm just, I just record with folks from Spanaway. And if folks want to listen for 2+ 3 hours to like people from Spanaway talk, then this podcast is for you. And if not, then, you can listen to something else, but it's been fun doing these. So, there's nothing that's tied down. So it's like, these are just kind of come as you go. These just go on YouTube. I don't know. So who knows what these are going to do, but I like doing them. And, I appreciate you, Jason, for jumping on. And so we'll finish with this last question here that I like to end most interviews with. If you could go back into time and have a conversation with yourself back to 1998, what would that conversation look like?
Just trust yourself, trust you know the right thing to do, and be nice to people.
Damn, that's solid, man. Solid. Well, thank you again for jumping on and the SwaySide Connection podcast. And for you guys watching, we can catch us on the next one.